Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of 13 Card Subjects Change. Live on YouTube we are today. So wherever you may be watching us, whether it's the Discuss Pro Wrestling Lounge, whether it's the Pro Wrestling Lounge, or whether it's, just hanging out on YouTube, we're happy to see it. Leroy and I have been doing some delving into our YouTube. Jesse's here as well.
Of course.
So, Jesse, take a guess what our most watched video on YouTube is. Almost at 200 views.
Ooh.
It's almost at 200 views
It's
now?
almost at 200 views.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Sadly,
most of those views are coming from people who are not subscribed. But hey, we'll take them.
Is it the Kenny Omega thing where I go off on Kenny?
No, it is actually our interview with D'Lo.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
D'Lo's the man.
D'Lo was so cool for that. One of those awesome
D'Lo's
moments.
the man.
Yeah, I love that. So anyway, stacked card today. We're going to be pulling some stuff out of our rear ends just to kind of be cool. We have a new NXT UK Women's Champion.
Man, I wasn't sure they were going to pull the trigger on that.
And boy, did that match look like it hurt. That's about all I can say. Boy,
Between
did that,
those two women, I'm not shocked.
My God. Oh.
I think I'm going to move it.
Well, first of
my
all,
big head is...
yeah. Well, first of all,
oh no, now I can see.
First of all, Kaylee's great.
Yeah.
But what's her name in
So
NXT
Kaylee
UK?
Ray and Mako Satomura.
Mako can hit. Mako,
yeah.
Mako's like a ton of bricks coming down on you.
Listen, man, these
Oh,
the
my
Japanese women are
God.
like the Japanese men, man. You get hit hard.
I love how
You
they
go
say
down.
Japanese strong style. I'm like, that's just Japanese wrestling.
Yeah,
it hurts.
That's just how they wrestle. It hurts, bro.
But yeah, so big ups to her.
Yes.
I think it's great for that division.
Yes.
That division's on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
I still think the regular NXT women's division is a little bit better right now from top to bottom.
And I think that's just because there's actually more women in that division.
Yeah.
But it's great. I think both NXT women's divisions are how you should handle women's divisions.
It's really interesting what Paul does well. Paul Levesque, obviously.
Triple H.
And Michael Sean Hickenbottom.
Yes.
For those of you that didn't know, his name is Hickenbottom.
Yes.
But no. One thing
That's messed up.
one thing that is actually really funny when you look back at their careers, they're really good at building a women's division.
Really good at it, especially the guys from DX.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. We go from being probably the most chauvinistic dudes in the world to all of a sudden.
But to be fair, they both also have daughters, so I think they have an appreciation for.
And not only that, but it's like
empowering women.
Not only is it good, every female legitimately seems to have a direction, whether it's good, whether it's bad. They have a direction.
Yeah.
And we'll get in a little bit later about NXT and the different levels of NXT.
Of course.
But now one thing that Jesse and I have watched, Leroy, I told him he doesn't need to, but he's going to watch. I am going to preface this by saying this is the one and only time we will ever discuss this on the show.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Ring.
I'm just a glutton for punishment. That's why I'm going to watch it.
This is something, though.
Yeah.
Dark Side of the Ring came out with their episode In the Shadow of Grizzly Smith.
Yeah.
It included interviews from Jim Cornette to Rockin' Robin to Sam Henderson was his in-ring name.
Yeah.
Baby Doll was in there.
I believe.
Yep. Yep. Baby Doll was in there. Jake the Snake Roberts was in there.
Yes.
Folks, I'm going to quote Gene Crossing from the lounge here on a couple of things. Number one, I have seen this episode, and I will never watch it again.
Yeah,
I
can't.
Look, folks, wrestling has always had a dark side.
Yeah.
That's why I think this was, and we'll get into this very quickly, but why this scenario got so bad is because wrestling's always been one of those things where, like, there's some weird shit going on in the wrestling business, but, it's like, here's the deal. I have some interest in the collusion in North Korea, even the Ultimate Warrior thing, even though that got really weird at some point. Dynamite Kid, hard to watch, but I mean, as much as I don't want to do it, I'd go back and watch the Chris Benoit one again.
Yeah.
Before I'd watch this. This is and hold on, Gene's second and probably most important quote. There are monsters in this world, and then there's Grizzly Smith.
Yeah.
And, this is kind of Leroy's territory in the sense of this is back in those older days of
old school time.
Yeah,
yes.
old school time. People, okay, first of all, people And I've looked at some message boards. I've talked to some people
Yeah.
who commented all over it, and they're like, what were they doing? This, that, yada yada. Folks, this was the 70s and 80s. Cell phones were not a thing.
No.
The payphones in these towns worked half the time,
Yep.
and not to mention the fact people have to remember this is a 7'3", 385-pound man who was a superstar wrestler
Yeah.
in these territories,
Yeah.
and by the way, small towns too.
Yeah,
This was back in Watts' promotion.
I believe so.
Watts was running
I believe
this,
so, yes.
but the thing is, Watts never went to these towns.
No,
Grizzly was the road agent. He was the main road agent,
Yeah.
and again, never went to college, but probably one of the most brilliant people in the world. And he used it for evil, obviously.
Unfortunately.
But I mean, God, what are you gonna do back in that era when?
I mean, the most back people could do back then was possibly go to a paper and just hope that your name wouldn't come out to it.
But
and
as
things
we
of that
learned
nature.
later, during the episode,
Yeah.
he had another daughter
Yeah.
where she tried to do something. And let's be honest, Grizzly Smith went to his grave knowing who the two gentlemen were that kidnapped his daughter.
Yeah.
Grizzly Smith went to his grave knowing that.
Yeah.
110%.
Yeah.
Did he ever tell his other son that wasn't Jake? Probably not.
No.
I honestly think when you look at the psychology that Grizzly used on people, no one probably knew. The other thing we have to understand is, folks, Leroy grew up in an era where wrestling, the veil wasn't removed. The slap heard round the world hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
No.
Back in the old days, especially these southern territories, people, this was a religion.
Yeah.
Oh God,
This was
yes.
something people took seriously.
Yeah.
And you know what? Back then, if a wrestler didn't want you to know about his home life, kind of quoting Jim, but it all ties in.
Mm-hmm.
If a wrestler didn't want you to know about his home life, you were never finding out.
No.
It was
No.
never going to happen.
No.
Because think about it. People would have looked at Jake's mother, they would have done the math, Grizzly's age, her age, and they would have been like, hold on. Then you add Jake's age, and she was 13.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, Leroy, this is where you and I kind of differ, but obviously, I'm not blaming what you personally believe, but this was back in an era where, especially in Texas, religion was taken a little more seriously back then, and a 13-year-old girl gets pregnant, it's fine as long as you marry her. I'm not blaming what you believe, but that was kind of the thought process back then. People are a little smarter about it now.
For that, that had a lot to do with the whatever religious base they're at.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if it was a Mormon,
Right.
maybe Baptist, certain
Yeah.
kind of Baptist,
Yeah.
but a Catholic or anything like that.
Yeah.
Hell, they would have buried that
Right.
very quickly.
But it's just, folks.
Oh, yeah, it's
folks,
crazy.
Folks, these days,
Crazy as hell.
in 5 minutes, Jesse could put out a tweet from his home about somebody in Louisiana, Baton Rouge, which is where Grizzly lived, and Grizzly would never get to you. He'd never know where the hell you were.
Yeah.
The problem is that these were small towns. They were off the back roads. They were running 4 or 5 shows a night back in those days. I mean, people don't realize Jim Hurd, the Watts territories, it was 5 shows a night in different towns.
That's crazy. That's crazy as hell too. But yeah, I mean, they got to make money somehow.
Yeah. So, and it's just like, for people that are also getting on what Jim Cornette said about the Joey Ryans of this
Yeah.
era, saying, "Oh, you were talking about how worse this era is." No, this era is worse because
Yes.
Grizzly was obviously an outlier, but Grizzly was bad. But folks, the other thing about it is that Grizzly Smith
Yeah.
could hide this, and it would have never come out.
No.
And no one would have known, because also think about this. Well, Leroy's a smart parent. He's not letting his daughter get in the car with Grizzly Smith on a back road in Louisiana and then do the territory run by herself with Grizzly. That's never going to happen.
No, oh hell no.
But remember, back then wrestlers were revered. He
Yeah.
was Superman. He'd run that territory as a wrestler for 20 years, and then he was the head road agent.
Yeah.
They were calling him Uncle Grizz.
Yeah.
And I'm just sitting here like, this is hard to watch from a bunch of angles.
Yeah.
But then you
Oh, yeah.
sit there and you watch Jake the Snake. We talked about this off camera. Jake the Snake Roberts is one of the most feared characters in the history of wrestling. Jake the Snake, I don't remember the exact year, but Grizzly had been dead, I would say, almost 10 years when they finally aired this episode.
Yeah.
And Jake was scared to death to talk about this.
Yeah.
And Grizzly's been dead.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, folks, people have to understand, psychologically, these people and we'll get into like off wrestling for 5 seconds. When you remove your conscience, when you remove, any form of love or affection for a human being, and you're just malice intent, it goes beyond anything a psychologist can find.
Thank you
in
for.
any book.
By the way, I don't mean to interrupt. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Aaron McMahon. I appreciate you.
Oh,
joining
hey.
us,
Oh, hey,
How's it doing,
fantastic.
man?
Yeah,
Yeah.
what up, man?
He gets to look. Everybody to look closely at my ugly mug because I have just one camera.
Well, I warned us about that camera, but
hey.
But no, it's like, guys, when you remove your conscience,
Yeah.
you can do things to people psychologically
Yeah.
Oh, God,
that
yeah,
are just
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
And folks, if you want to watch it, that is obviously your right, but if you can make it through 20 minutes, oh God, that is.
Well,
I have nothing to add. Leroy, go ahead.
We'll give
Nothing to add
parental
here.
warning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch this because
Yeah.
I'm crazy
Yeah,
a little bit about
but your
wrestling.
kids will not be in the room when this happens.
I'm gonna do it by myself.
This is not going to happen.
And thank God, next week I'm doing 3 days with my church.
Right.
So I'll get a little savior
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
the next week. It'll take that long for me probably to
Holy
be ready
crap.
for it. So all right,
Holy crap.
let us get on to some good stuff. What are we talking about next?
Well, you know what? It wasn't great, the ending, but let's talk about Against All Odds, shall we?
Okay.
all right.
A
yes.
wonderful pay-per-view from a nice company
Absolutely.
that had a shit ending, and we'll talk about that.
Oh, is it Kenny Omega once again ruining professional wrestling? Please, people, let's get into Kenny Omega.
Well,
you know what?
at least he got his ass kicked at the end, which I didn't mind.
I'll let you go ahead and start the results
All right.
before we get into
So
it.
Before you go, though,
right,
preface
no
this by
problem.
saying, folks, yes, they're on Twitch and access is not everywhere. But no, this is proof again that Impact's been a very solid company for a while now.
Of course.
The
Oh, yeah.
company, the zombie promotion from the dead seems to always find a way to stick around. But super.
And I don't mean to interrupt, Aaron. You're absolutely right. The
Pillman episode.
The Pillman episode was another tough watch.
That was
The
a
Pillman
tough
episode is going to come up in a little bit here because I'm going to be super angry about that episode, not because of the episode itself, but because
Yeah.
what AEW is not capitalizing
Yeah.
on. But we'll talk about that in a second.
one. Well, yeah, you'll have to let me know when
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to add that to the list of 1
yeah,
week.
yeah.
So we'll do that.
Anyway, go ahead. Against
All
all
right.
odds, Marcus will enjoy this because Marcus is our Impact guy there in the lounge.
I know. Well, you're not on there.
Yeah.
And I say thanks, Jesse, there for keeping up on the comments.
No
there,
problem.
You know,
Yeah,
comment
no.
back and everything.
That's why we need a third
We
person
love
on the
it.
show.
I know. That's what I was
He
told.
also
I need to-
he also eats the most out of all of us, so it's one of those scenarios where it's
That's
like,
true. I have
yeah,
to work on
He's-
that at some point.
He's
Yeah.
bigger than both of us.
That's
Yeah.
very true.
And I'm not talking round. I mean, tall one. He's
Which
bigger.
that camera does not do you any justice at all. So like,
Hey,
that's why people can't tell.
I told you I'm working on trying to diet.
Yeah.
It's
2000
It's slowly working.
2035, you have that beach body, huh?
No, 25. 10 years sooner than you think.
Still
That'd be like 2 years in my years because I'm like dog years.
that's fair.
All right.
All right, back to this pay-per-view. Back to the pay-per-view.
Don't worry, guys. We like each other and we give each other this crap, so don't worry. All right, we have it was a street fight.
Mm-hmm.
Sami Callihan and Tommy Dreamer defeated the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, and Garrett Carlinson by a pinfall.
This
in a
was
street
probably this was probably one of the best things the Good Brothers have done since this whole partnership.
Yeah.
Sadly, the bar's not high, but
I mean, the stuff with Finn Juice is really good, of course.
Yeah.
But they've
Yeah.
all, I would think they have
The
a
bar's
little
about
bit of
right
chemistry.
fight.
Yeah.
Should be up there, but
Yeah,
it's right
well,
there.
Because they have some background with Finn already.
Right,
because
yeah.
They were all New Japan at the same point before they came to WWE.
we'll be bringing up Carl Anderson here a little bit later in the show for another topic. But we'll
Yeah.
move on. Yeah, we'll move on to the next match here.
All right. And then we have a singles match where Joe Doring with Eric Young and Dream, and he defeated.
Now is Eric still hurt?
I believe.
I believe so.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, that's
But he had his group, and he got Satu Komini.
Komani.
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 Thank you. It's
all right.
I apologize for butchering that.
the
but
other, you know,
he beat him by pinfall.
Yeah, it's super interesting. Eric is one of those guys who I put in. They failed him more than I think he failed them.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think anybody really saw the fact that going from his days in Team Canada,
Yeah.
he works in a group that is just smarmy, annoying,
Yeah.
and they want to run the joint.
Yeah.
Team Canada was that way when Scott was running it. Obviously, that spawned Bobby Roode, Petey Williams.
Yes.
But no, I mean, Eric is a good quote unquote cult leader.
Yeah.
He's, I mean, Eric is super good at talking. He's got a great mic presence, and honestly, Eric, like I said, I'll put Eric on the they failed him list.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, the next one was a 5-way match to determine the number one contender for the X Division Championship. And
has there ever really been a bad X Division match? Seriously?
Yeah, well, this is an interesting one. It ended with no contest.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they haven't botched endings or anything like that, but like overall matches in the X Division, it's probably the most consistent division
Because
wrestling's had in a long time.
they really find ways to let those guys help to tell the story the way they need it told, but in their own way. And then guys are always in that division. They're so damn good because most of them are.
Have you ever
prime.
considered them a get your shit in division?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think they've ever reached levels of that. I feel like the whole point of X Extreme was to go bigger, to go higher.
Well, and then I've always said the X Division, it's a damn shame. This is the one thing I've always given Impact over WWE.
Yeah.
This is how you treat the Intercontinental title picture.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to bring up young guys.
Yeah.
Is that it's a kind of a big title picture, but you know how important that title is.
Yeah.
And you give these guys a chance to shine anytime they're going against a champion.
Yeah.
The champion gets a lot of shine, someone you could try to build into a main event.
Well, but that's one of those things that, Jesse might, kind of laugh at this, is that's one of the things that over the last couple of weeks Raw has done a slightly better job of, is just letting the matches go.
A little bit.
Not that it's been great, but it's like it's slowly getting to a point where it's like, okay, let them work.
Yes.
And the work will speak for itself.
Yes.
Next up, because obviously that was a no contest, which again,
I think
it was an outside interference, whatever.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, and I read, and I'm sorry if I don't remember who did it.
Yeah.
I read it quickly.
It was
the ref called it.
Which
it was
kind
of crazy.
It was weird because usually you don't.
They were all not.
You don't usually call a match because it's technically a no DQ.
Right. Yeah.
But I
exactly.
get the story they were going for.
Yeah.
I think we're headed to a Division X match, which is that crazy thing where they kind of put the rope up.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Well, but
I don't know who's actually going to walk away with the championship.
Well, you also have to remember. You also have to remember what sort of sparked Adam Cole's return was he broke up a no DQ match, but he just knocked the crap out of everyone senseless.
Yeah.
So they kind of had to end it because it's like if you're selling being knocked out cold, what, they're gonna go commercial and then all of a sudden you guys will just be crawling all back.
No, there's nothing.
No,
yeah.
it doesn't work out like that.
I wish you would have. I known you were going to say Adam Cole, baby. I would have had my kids run in quick and scream that because they're really good at doing that.
Okay, no.
Especially Clara. Say, Claire,
we're
going to
talk about that promo he had with Cross though, because
and then Aaron,
God, was that good.
I mean, listen, we not only do we keep up with wrestling, as they know, I religiously watch wrestling. That's how much I love it. Even Raw, which I hate.
As Jesse is, he eats, sleeps, bleeds, sweat, everything.
I think if I was a professional wrestler, I'd probably be pretty damn good because I love it so much.
Yeah, right.
All right. We got the next one. We got
what was up next?
W. Morsley. Okay. Big Cass, as everybody says. They're right.
Yep.
He defeated Rick Swann by pinfall. Just a regular singles match.
I was not a fan of the results. The match was okay.
All right.
I will say this.
I was not a fan.
Go ahead.
Before Jessica goes, to me, this is just another example of, and this is what TNA's always been really shitty at, is when you take a guy out of the world title picture, you just shit on him for like 3 months.
So here's the thing. This time, what they're trying to do makes sense. What they're trying to do is they're trying to break the character of Rich Swann because of everything that happened with Kenny Omega, his own self-confidence.
Yeah, I mean...
And I get where people are like, well, damn, he's just losing matches left and right. But it makes sense. Morrissey is a guy you want to build.
Oh, no, 100%.
Morrissey is a guy they want in their main title
and it seems
picture.
like he finally got his head on straight for his depression and anxiety
awesome
situation.
For him,
oh, yeah, no, it's great to hear.
And then the 2 or 3 promos he's cut since he's been in Impact
they've been great.
Have been phenomenal.
Love them.
So I didn't mind this too much because all they're really doing is they're kind of break the character. They're going to do something I can't believe Rich Swann might be interested in, and I think they're going to actually turn him heel.
Yeah.
And that'll be interesting to see what happens because Rich Swann's character has always been a babyface character.
And he's always been so sympathetic looking.
Yes.
This is the thing that we've talked about before with like Dusty, and you and I were talking off the air about what Darby Allin could have been back in the old territory days was just the ability to because this is why Ray's bit lasted on television for as long as he has.
Yes.
Rey Mysterio is the master. And here's the thing, Ray doesn't oversell.
No.
Ray is selling to the level of he's a small guy who got hit by Big Show. Paul White, no more BS.
Yeah.
But no, it's just Ray has never overacted.
No.
Ray,
No. It's selling to make you go like, come on, man, get back in it.
Well, that's one of the reasons why I always feel offended as a wrestling fan when people bring up, and even Jericho is guilty of this, bringing up Marco Stunt in the same sentence as Rey Mysterio. And
can we get to the next match?
Oh God!
I can't. When he brings up Marco Stunt, I had to.
Well,
I can't.
Prepare yourself because we're gonna talk about AEW eventually.
Yeah, and I'll get into the mindset for that. I can't talk about Marco Stunt.
All right, let's see. We got
what else we got on this?
We have singles match. We got Dashwood with Caleb with a K.
Yep.
Defeated Jordan Grace. God, why are you doing that to my girl?
What
are you doing to our girl, man? What the heck?
Here's the thing. This is brilliant.
Oh,
really?
I'll explain why.
Yeah, go ahead.
Jordan Grace is always going to be in the women's title picture. The woman is a masterclass wrestler right now.
God,
she's in her prime.
Can I just say this? Can you imagine her with the other big girl over in NXT UK? A series of matches. I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Really tall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's eluding my brain right now. But listen, anytime I think of Jordan Grace, I think Impact. I think Scotty has to be like, thank God she signed here.
The name fits because she is very graceful in that ring.
She to me is starting to become in the ring.
Yeah.
The female Kurt Angle.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a masterclass of storytelling she does.
Yeah.
She's one of the best pure in-ring wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
And she's gotten a lot better on the mic, thank God. Even though well,
that's always the hardest thing to do in this business is the mic.
Yeah.
Because the truth is that despite what I think about the matches, I mean I'm not while it's not my. Go ahead.
Piper Nivian.
I apologize.
She's
Piper Niven. Yeah.
One of my favorites
Niven.
over in
She's
NXT UK, by the way.
Who might actually be getting called up to Raw within the next week.
But
so we'll see.
Anyway, back to my point. One of the things that I can say is the Bucks can work. Whether it's my style of work, they can work.
Yeah.
Can they talk? I wish they wouldn't, but they can't. But my point is this: is that, and you know what? We have a topic coming up here in a little bit where we'll delve more into this. So I'll table that for a second. But anyway, no. Jordan Grace is very graceful in the ring, no pun intended. She's an amazing worker, and she really, really makes me believe that even though she's that good, she also has a Ray quality to her. She can be sympathetic to, when she needs to be.
Absolutely.
And
and here's why this was a stroke of genius.
Okay.
Scott D'Amore, by the way, was who you were talking about. Yeah, Scott
They've
D'Amore.
been wanting to build Tenille for a long time.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good thing to do.
They really want to make her legitimate because I think they've been wanting to put the women's championship on her for a while.
Well,
but it's
a lot of companies have been trying. No, that's the thing.
Things like that have kind of hurt her.
She's had more shots since leaving the WWE than just about anyone that I can remember. But like you said, there's just been things that have not worked out in her favor. Whether it be injuries, whether it be personal life stuff. It's like I'm not here to delve into the reasons why, but no, if she's finally at a good spot.
And it seems like she's in a great spot in life.
And Impact, in my opinion, has always taken the women seriously.
Absolutely.
Except
I've always said they've
when,
actually done it better than WWE for a very long time.
Except for when, they were the highest viewership on the show, and then Vince Russo was like, well, I need to fix this, and nothing against the beautiful people, but they were so far away from what Awesome Kong and Gail Kim were doing. It was the wrong period of time to bring them in.
The only thing I hated about
this is
that,
Russo, all right?
About to say, and it was Vince Russo,
He's a moron.
The dumbest ass ever of professional wrestling. only second to a certain champion we'll get to.
That's a long list of people in pro wrestling, by the way.
Okay, we're just talking about promoters. He's the worst.
Okay,
there we go.
It's head and shoulders.
Yes.
But
I like that on my hair sometimes.
The biggest issue I had with that was if you were gonna
okay.
use the beautiful people,
Yeah.
use Madison Rayne.
Yeah.
Listen, I got nothing against Angelina Love. She worked her ass off to become a better wrestler.
She's in ROH right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she's very, very good still. Like, if you ever watch a match of hers in Ring of Honor, women's Ring of Honor,
Yes.
she's actually very, very good. She's the best she's ever been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But at the time, it was just a bad call. You should have used Madison Rayne.
Right. My biggest problem was Jim Cornette has obviously told the story, and it's been confirmed by many people, is Awesome Kong and Gail Kim were the highest rated thing on TNA.
Yeah.
That was being booked by Dutch Mantell and
Oh, yeah.
and Russo as the sort of head creative guy because Dixie was an idiot. He took it over, and again, nothing against what the beautiful people were doing, but to mix them with what was going on with Gail Kim and
it didn't
Awesome
make any
Kong
sense.
at that moment when they were at the height, because again, we've talked about on the show numerous times ending things when it's high. Darby talked about it. Seinfeld, Logan, we all know that story. But the thing is, this wasn't ready to die.
No.
Awesome Kong and Gail Kim could have fought forever, and it would have made sense.
Yeah.
Because, again, that was back when Fight Forever meant you were actually going to be telling the story instead of literally just fighting forever.
Yeah,
But PWG does a good job of it.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on the PWG. PWG coming back, by the way. We
Yes.
have a little news there.
Yes.
There we go.
July 1st, I think they're going to come back with
something like
shows.
that.
A lot of fun there.
Yeah, the Gail Kim Asuka, it's like David versus Goliath.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, classic story. You can go with that for a while now.
Well, but no. I mean, Jim Cornette, to quote him from the famous rant on Russo, if you want to give their counterparts of the older day, Awesome Kong was Abdullah the Butcher,
Yep.
and Gail Kim was Ricky Morton.
Yeah.
Yep.
Classic, right then and there.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
I mean, yeah.
All right, next is a tag match, the knockout tag.
Yeah.
Fire and Flav defeated Kimberly and Susan by pinfall to retain their championship.
Kira Hogan, formerly of Heavy on Wrestling.
Yes.
She was at the last Heavy on Wrestling show before the pandemic. One of those gals that, like, I might sound hypocritical here, but I see her a step above Red Velvet, but that's because I haven't watched a lot of Dark.
Okay.
So for me, but to watch,
you know what? In the ring, I'll agree.
yeah,
In the ring, I
But to
definitely
watch
agree.
Kira Hogan kind of show up at a time when I don't want to say they weren't caring about the Knockouts division, it was just down
Yeah.
because a lot of the stars hadn't come back to the Knockouts
Yeah.
division yet. Kira Hogan really kind of held down that division for a
Yeah.
while there, and it's like anytime she gets success, I'm always incredibly excited for her because she's a very hard worker in the ring.
Yeah.
Great work
Yeah,
too.
she is.
Love
yes,
it.
she is.
And people watching this, don't worry, that light, it pops on and off. Sorry,
Yeah.
it happens. It's
Yeah.
like I'm bright, and then I'm dark, and I'm bright, I'm dark.
And then, I really have nothing to add to that.
Yeah.
I mean, Kira's great.
Mox Box
Oh, yeah.
rule. It was just a good overall match. I've
Yeah.
got
There you go.
I've got nothing more to say other than
Yeah.
I'm happy for Kira.
Yeah.
Just
She's a great worker. Loved it.
I'll give that.
And
a plus,
and I will say this. Outside of this is the highest praise I can get coming from me.
Yeah.
Outside of Bray Wyatt,
Yeah.
Susan might be the best character wrestler on the planet.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Like she between what I mean quickly I'll say it.
Yeah,
What I mean
yeah.
by character wrestlers is Mick Foley is going into all these Hall of Fames not because he was a great mat wrestler
No,
or
no,
anything
no,
like
no.
that. He was an excellent storyteller. That's
Yes.
why his books are all most of his books are number one.
His
sellers.
biography on A&E, by the way, absolutely fantastic. It's just so good.
God, don't you go anywhere anytime soon, Mick. I got to meet you again, but
Oh, God.
but
I hope
it's
so.
just this gripping nature that they can do.
So quick story. I think I've told it on before, but I've mentioned before that I saw Mick at Clyde, right?
yeah,
I found out about that literally an hour before it happened. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting here like, I got no one to go with. Fuck it, I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
Because at that point in my life, I was still a younger kid, and we were kind of... And at that point in my life, I was in that generation where teenagers, it's like if your parents didn't approve, you didn't really go anywhere, but you had your own car type of deal.
Yeah.
So I just went, right? By myself, I sit in the crowd. Mick is a fantastic storyteller. He mixed in
Oh, yeah.
great comedy with his wrestling stories. And my favorite was there's going to be a Q&A. And at the end of this, there's going to be a little Q&A. But don't be that guy. That's what Mick said. And everybody on this show knows exactly what I'm talking about because Mick even said it. Don't be that guy who asks, Did it hurt when Undertaker threw you off the cell? Because we all knew it did. There was no question there. But anyway, afterwards, he's signing up in the top of Clyde there.
Yeah.
And I decided to ask him a quick question there. And while he's signing for me, and Eric, if you're within the sound of my voice, find the picture of me and Mick. I still don't have it. But anyway.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should find that for you.
But anyway, no. Mick, I asked him about the original ECW One Night Stand, which, by the way, I believe it was 10, 12 years since that happened yesterday.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Mike Awesome,
I think it was
may he
longer
rest
than
in
that.
peace.
2005.
So about
the guy, the time that maybe they should have just turned John Cena heel because Philly did.
Right, yeah.
Did.
But anyway, no. I mean, I asked Mick, what did that night mean to you? And Mick was actually very honest. He said, I think it meant more to the other guys.
Yeah.
Than it did to me.
Because at that point, he really wasn't that much of an active wrestler anymore.
Right, yeah. And, but no, I mean, Mick, one of the absolute just best people
I met him years before.
Yeah.
At a Heavy on Wrestling event over in Basketball Stadium in UWS.
Okay, yeah.
Got a picture, got his autograph.
Yeah.
And you know who was on the show with him?
Who was on the show?
Terry Funk.
Oh God.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I got to see both of those guys in the ring together.
Yeah.
Wow. It just...
Wow,
awesome.
that's amazing.
Magic every time those two step in the ring.
Now we get to the next. We got another tag team match right
Yep.
after that. We have Violent by Design, the champs, beating by pinfall Decay to retain their title.
Like I said, Decay has found a way to sort of come back up. They're relevant again in Impact. And again, Eric Young, every group that he touches or that he's involved in, they're just good.
Yeah, they're great.
They're just they fit together, and it's weird because Eric always seemed to be in groups where you look at it and you're like, because I always say the inner circle looks like they shouldn't be together because just they don't fit, they don't act. Eric Young seems to get people in a group and you're just like, I don't know why, but this is working.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm enjoying
every
this.
time they're in a group, like I said, I'll say this with sanity because I just think I think main roster dropped the ball.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Triple H kind of dropped the ball a little bit too because they should have had more championships in NXT. But neither here nor there.
Yeah.
But the reason they work is because they bring in wrestlers that kind of need a refresher.
Yeah.
So he works with guys and gals who just kind of need that refresher.
Mm-hmm.
And they all buy into their characters.
Yeah.
And it makes it work when you understand your role and how that role can eventually help you.
Yeah.
So every time he's in a group, it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've been fantastic.
And then we have a match for the Knockout Championship with Deanna Purrazzo. She beat Rosemary by pinfall.
I will never, ever.
I was actually shocked at this.
Yeah, same.
Really?
I thought it was kind of time for Rosemary.
I thought Rosemary was going to get one last run here.
I will never back off of what I said originally on this show about Deanna Purrazzo in the sense that what was the hype? Because again, outside of couple of nights on NXT, there really wasn't a lot of hype around her. She hadn't done much. Not that she's not great now, and she's definitely taken her ball and ran with it.
Yeah, I think she even admitted what was going on in NXT, especially with her injuries, got her down mentally.
Yeah.
And so you could tell her heart was never completely into it in NXT.
Yeah. My biggest thing was, and again, just for those of you who are wondering, the big topic that I'm trying to get to is NXT failures. We're going to discuss that a little bit later. I would say she's one of them when you look at what she's done now, but at the time when she got to Impact and was immediately thrown into the title picture, I didn't get it. And more so,
I didn't either. I didn't either.
And more so, I didn't get it because everybody was acting like she was this great thing. And it's like, yo, she wasn't. She is now. She's found a way to make it work. But, guys.
Well, I think what's interesting about Deanna Purrazzo is the fact that, I once again, my introduction to everyone that I've used to go to a lot of indie shows like you have.
Yeah.
I got to see her in Chicago once.
Right.
So I know how great of a technical wrestler she is. Oh, yeah.
It's hard to get over in Chicago.
It's hard to get over in Chicago.
Chicago's
but
got a hell of a crowd.
She's such a technical mastermind. It's almost like watching Zack Sabre Jr., where you have to you're just in awe of the move set and the ways that they can just bend people's bodies and things of that nature. I think I think what happened was
Also, by the way, when Zach insults the United States, he's not wrong. You can't do a technical style match. That's the thing. Zach is one of those guys that I don't think AEW will ever get because he's thinking the way Cornette is. Like, what am I going to do with these guys?
You know, it's the only company he would probably ever sign to it, and I'm not being a WWE biased guy, is WWE because that's the only way. I mean, Pete Dunne, Kurt Angle. I can go on and on about the technical wrestlers that have not only gotten over big in America, but became
our boy
superstars.
Kushida. We love
Kushida.
Yeah.
Like, you can get over with technical
Kushida,
wrestling in WWE.
Kushida, when he got into the feud.
Plus, Zach is actually funny in his insults.
Oh, he's so good. He's so good. No, Kushida, when he got into that little spat with Dunn, I think a lot of people were like, Super Juniors, technical wrestling. No, Kushida, that's why Kushida outgrew Super Juniors.
Yeah.
Was because he was so good.
Yeah. He was too good to be in that division anymore. But overall, like I was saying about Deonna Purrazzo,
And like, how many times had he been the junior heavyweight champion?
Way too many to count.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's the fact that I think they knew.
Yeah.
She came in with this confidence, and they were like, "Listen, we're probably not getting Allie back. We don't know when Rosemary's coming back."
Right.
And so they were like, let's just push this woman. Because Jordan's great, but I think having her feud with Jordan, because it's a name people know.
Exactly.
Is,
100%.
Is a great way to get her over as champion. Now, they have, once again, Impact has actually done this better than almost every other company that has women in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Of building a woman that people are like, which is true. Like, I don't know. And then,
but I can't call it WWE's fault because, like you said, stuff happened. But
stuff happened, but
there was no one's fault. But you're right; they have done a fantastic
what's
job.
great is Sean recently, a month or two ago, because they asked about like some of the women that have left recently. Yeah, he's like, well, listen, I've watched Deonna. We're proud of her.
Oh yeah,
like he's like, I still talk to her now. Yeah. He's like, I'm so proud of her. He was like, she clearly wasn't happy with what was going on here. We can't be mad at that.
It's going to be interesting because when we get to the failures, we're going to talk about how if this were the old days of territories, she could, it would have been a scenario where she could have left WWE for a couple of years but come back.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have been that big a deal, but because everything, and again, it's not Vince's fault, but because everything has gotten so tense in the market sharing of wrestling.
And I think Deonna, the big thing with Deonna was she should have, their so-called her getting called up should have never happened anyway.
Yeah.
She was the perfect NXT wrestler.
Oh, 100%.
And like I said, we'll get into NXT.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
Leroy,
I was actually surprised this wasn't Rosemary.
Yeah.
Because she's almost alluded to like how long she actually might do this now.
Yeah, exactly.
And with fans finally coming back, I'm like, man, I would love to see her get one more run so I can maybe go see her one last time.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Leroy, is it time to finally get to the point where Jesse's going to lose his ever-loving mind?
Are you ready?
Are we here?
Are you ready out there? This is
my
Jesse.
God.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
And I'm not trying to be like DX there by saying, "Are you ready?"
No, I know.
I'm ready.
Jesse's definitely got two suck-it words to say.
I'm not as
Jesse
cool
got
as
more than
DX,
2 words
but
to
I'm
say
not
here.
as
But
cool.
anyway, go ahead.
But unfortunately, the main event, and this was very interesting. Mm-hmm. The match did take place at Daly's Place.
Okay.
But the champ Kenny Omega
was not happy with it, but okay.
Beat Moose.
Yep.
But then Sami Callihan came out and beat the snot out of him.
And then got fired.
And then got fired.
And then got fired from Impact.
Story.
Of course it's a story.
You know what? You two start.
All right.
Leroy, and then I'll go.
Leroy, I commented. It's interesting because Jason Don in the lounge commented, maybe it's time for how much he's been working to take the belt of Impact or take the extra belts off of Kenny because he's working so much. And my first comment, which got a lot of laughs, was they should have taken the belt off him when he won it, but whatever.
I do agree there.
It's just, first of all, to bring Moose down to your level, because I'm sorry, Moose is better than Kenny.
Way better.
It is.
Way better.
To bring him down to your level and then to beat him. And then, again, I wasn't happy. It was in Daly's Place because, again, you're just kind of insulting the promotion that did it. Nashville, they're still in Nashville right now? Okay.
Yeah, they are.
But it's like, first of all, Nashville to Jacksonville ain't that, things are opening up now. You can get on a plane and be there in an hour.
Absolutely.
But no. It's,
or maybe he'll take his camper or his bus.
I don't know. But no, it's just, and then.
Somebody needs to burn that damn thing. Continue, Zach.
I actually loved that Sammy came out because Sammy has always been the loose cannon. It makes sense for him. he's much more loose cannon than Mox thinks he is. But the thing about Wild thing might work for Callahan only because everything works for Callahan because Callahan doesn't give a rat's hairy ass.
There we go.
But no, it's just to fire him, knowing there's a partnership. You're the idiots who have kept talking about the partnership. We all know he's going to show up probably on Wednesday.
Sorry,
and
Friday night when no one's watching anymore.
We'll get to those ratings. Hold on.
They're doing another Friday.
They had to because
did you hear the ratings? Did you hear the ratings for last Friday?
I did not, but I'll hear from you for AEW when we talk about.
But anyway,
so
it's just Kenny was at his peak in terms of heat with that audience. Moose, it was prime time. He was in Kenny's house. Mm-hmm. It was an away game. Everything was on the line. It would have made sense, and instead, it's another situation where now, while Kenny's dealing with Daly's place on Fridays, y'all are going to be in Nashville building up your heavyweight division without your championship, without your champion. Don might show up for 5 minutes to cut a really bad promo because Don's been going downhill on promos since this whole thing started. But it's just... I can't. Jesse's gonna flip out about this, which rightfully so. But I'm just sitting here like
I'm just going to passionately speak my thoughts.
That's fair. But no, it's just
very passionately.
No, but it's just all I can say about this.
Like I'm making love to a woman, just very passionately.
Fair enough. This was painful because
with anger.
Yes,
that woman would not be alive after you were done.
No, but she will remember it in heaven.
There you go. My biggest issue comes from, and honestly, my biggest issue will come from. Really, you built up Moose like that. Moose was primed, ready to go, and it was just another night where Kenny can say, "I got a win over Moose." That's all it was.
Yeah.
By the end of this reign, there will be nobody in Impact. There will be nobody in AEW. There'll be nobody in AAA that has a victory over Omega, and then they'll beat him, and it's not going to matter because he already beat them once. It won't be as big. The problem is that Kenny will have a victory, and I guarantee this will happen. He'll have at least a victory, like the Bucks, over every opponent before he finally drops these belts. And I think that's just ludicrous. I think you're killing your soon-to-be ticket sales, but I digress.
Well, I do agree. I mean, I thought horseshit that he had to beat him like that in dailies. Yeah, Kenny is dealing with a lot of injuries. I saw that too. I mean, it's not a bad idea to drop it, but
and Don's not even on the committee for Impact anymore. He's been removed from the website. How does he have the ability to fire Callahan? They're not even in Nashville. How do you fire a dude on what's technically his day off because he ain't in Nashville?
I don't know. But
also, by the way, I hate to say this, but again, remember how I talked about Jacksonville to here, the hour-long flight, whatever? This proves that either Callahan got on a plane right after the match, went straight to Daly's place for this bullshit, or, once again, Kenny Omega can't work unless it's via satellite.
And it's recorded.
Oh, my God.
But,
it's recorded, yet the editing still sucks.
Yeah. It's they're ruining everything. I mean, it's back in old WCW where the wrestlers were manipulating and making the booking the way they wanted it,
but it's
for their benefit.
But it's like Impact has more eyes, but how are you not looking like a fool because your world title is just a joke right now? The most important thing you have is a prop. It's a prop.
Well, at least they have the X Division, which is great. They got the women's title.
Yeah, but Kenny's going to turn around and be like, I can take these down. Kenny, I wouldn't be surprised if in 2 weeks Kenny's like, I'm going to interject myself into the X Division match because I'm the best wrestler. Anyway, Jesse's stretched. He's ready to go.
So, let me go ahead and get into this.
All righty.
So, Moose, a guy that me and Marcus last week was just talking about how
high praise
if he had anything to work with in the Impact heavyweight division, we would probably be comparing him to Roman Reigns because he's just that damn good right now.
Oh, 100%. Roman's helped by his competition.
I had a feeling, and Marcus ended up being right.
Yeah.
I had a feeling Kenny was going to retain, but I'm like, a part of me wants to believe some of these titles have to start coming off now.
Mm-hmm.
Scott, why? He's still the worst heavyweight champion in pro wrestling.
But it's the most protected.
No. No. We're not going to tell these people that lie. That is a lie. This man is the worst champion in professional wrestling. I hope I didn't knock your camera down. This guy is trash.
Nope. It's still good.
Absolute.
They're both good.
100% trash.
Both good.
The New Japan title may look bad, but its champion is absolutely legit. Takes on any challenger. Shingo is awesome.
By the way, when Eric comes back on, we're gonna have to explain to him because Eric says he loves the way the title looks. We're gonna you and him will have that discussion.
I love
later,
Eric, but we're gonna have to have that discussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Kenny Omega.
We're going to have that live stream.
This quote-unquote story with, I can't believe I'm going to say this. You know how much I hated when Brock was champion because, of course, he would just be gone. And I said, well, that just kills.
Hate's a strong word, and when I say strong word, it's not strong enough.
It's not strong enough. No, you're absolutely right. The way I felt about Brock always being champion and just never being on the show, if Aaron, if you're still watching, I get that he's a draw, but it really hurts your championship because that means you have no main event ever. Guys are just fighting, and then Brock's just killing them when they come back. Okay.
I agree.
Kenny's worse. You want to know why Kenny's worse? Because he's not believable. He's not even a little bit believable. You know what? You were absolutely right. It was all Okada. So someone actually brought up in one of the wrestling chats that I'm in, that 2 or 3 years ago was the last match between Kenny Omega and Okada.
Yep.
Once again, I still do believe it's like a 6-7 star classic. It is actually one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life.
100%, but
it is absolutely clear Okada led that damn story. Because Okada has not missed a step since. No. Most of his stories are still great. He put over Shingo, which was huge.
No, I was literally just about to say, the fact that after everything that's happened with that belt over COVID, after everything New Japan's been through, to have the Golden Boy say, I'll put over the next guy.
Yes. They didn't make Tanahashi do it. He volunteered. Apparently he must have volunteered to be like, I'll put Shingo Takagi over.
Yes.
Okay? And, I mean, Shingo's one of, I think, to me, Shingo's
Fabulous
one of the most
match, by the way. Fabulous
it was
match.
fantastic.
I absolutely loved it.
The Elite are I cannot believe I agree with Jim Cornette on something. They are one of the worst things in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
The Bucks are horse shit. We'll get into them soon.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny Omega, they're so bad. They're so bad, people. They're so bad. It's now hurt the Good Brothers.
Yeah.
It's like the Good Brothers were better off being AJ's lackeys than they are right now. Like, if they don't find a way to New Japan at some point, I won't care about the Good Brothers. At least in WWE, I cared because they could always win the championships. You know, they could always come out with AJ and beat you down.
And it was also a situation where you kind of knew they were never going to break up because I think even Carl's said he's kind of over that point in his career. He's kind of done being able to carry a 30-minute match by himself. He kind of needs Doc with him.
He's a bit older. Well, Doc is still like close to my age. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's listen. And then on top of everything, he fired Sami Callihan. You resigned your position. You are focusing on being a storyteller, Don. Mm-hmm. This doesn't work because all you just did was give away the fact that Sami Callihan is now probably going to show up on Dynamite, which no one even watches on Friday night after SmackDown. Your numbers, they did 550 last week, people.
No, they did.
They did 550. I'm sorry, 525.
You want to know what they did? So, okay.
Are we going to give it right now?
Okay.
You know what? Sweet. Let him give it right now.
Okay.
We're done with...
The first week...
I'm done with Kenny Omega until we get into AEW.
The first week on Friday was like 570 something.
Something like that.
The next week, boys, welcome to the 400 club because you were 429. And now you're back up to 550. And I hate to say it, you're probably only at 550 because, once again, the fact that this AEW crowd only watches AEW, they're like, I missed one Friday, they'll be fine. No, what they're learning is that of the 800 to 1,000 you were getting, most people were watching because it was convenient and it was a Wednesday.
True.
You guys don't understand that this is... And by the way, Eric's had to eat a little crow on this. Jacob's had to eat a little crow on this. And with me is like, again, I was right. And they're moving to TBS faster.
Yes, they are.
This might sound like a broken record, but guys, what have I been wrong about? TBS is in 1 million more homes. That doesn't mean a million more people are going to watch over
No.
and over and over again. Guys, wrestling is hard enough to watch if it's Raw.
I'm about to say, and they at least get they steadily stay at 1.5.
Yeah, but the point is this. It is a Friday night, and you really think I'm about to change the channel from watching SmackDown end the way you're supposed to end a show with the Tribal Chief, with him looking like a badass.
Yes.
The way you're supposed to end a show, not randomly having Jungle Boy just being a random tag team matches for your main event, but that's nor here nor there. But no, it's just
he's gonna beat that kid.
Yep.
He's gonna beat that kid in 2 weeks.
No, but here's the deal. Out of nowhere, you think I'm gonna turn off what was some of the best 2 hours of wrestling you're gonna get all week, and I'm just gonna go switch over to this. Here's why I won't.
I watch the news, or I watch Yukon Gold.
Yeah,
that's kind of fun to watch.
Fine.
Yeah.
Here's why I can't. WWE gives me great SmackDown.
Yes.
Raw is steady but not great.
I hate it, but
nope.
I'm a glove for punishment.
Nope, that's fine.
I get 2 hour condensed. I luck out there.
You see,
I see the best of
Steven
the show.
Larson started doing exactly what you're doing.
Yeah,
they're starting to watch it without like the commercial, because you can fast forward through all the damn all the callbacks and stuff on Raw.
Yeah.
Where when I watch it live, I'm like, okay, now we're doing another callback to what just happened 20 minutes ago.
See, I just get all the highlights and
but my point is,
show, which is great.
But it's like my point is this. But at least when I get to the pay-per-view, it feels like a pay-per-view.
Yes.
Nobody in this room and nobody listening, and I don't care who the hell you think you are, you can't sit there and tell me, and I'm sorry, but every AEW pay-per-view is a $50 Dynamite.
Yeah.
It's just there's nothing.
I have nothing to argue anymore.
They throw so much on TNT, soon to be TBS, soon to be Lifetime Movie Network.
That would be great.
Then they're gonna have a Christmas movie.
So then they'll average like 150,000 viewers instead of 400, because women damn sure ain't watching this.
Exactly. But my point is this, Leroy.
Yes.
NXT would do better on the Lifetime Movie channel.
Right, exactly. But it's just guys, I'm sitting here and you put so much into the regular show of Dynamite that you can hate Vince all you want for having a couple throwaways in the middle of June, but at least you're hyped when the pay-per-view comes because you just came off a couple low shows. But it's like, folks, when Dynamite is just full bore, pyro, big music, every single week, then you get to a pay-per-view. How do you top it?
Well, here's the thing.
You can't.
Here's the thing.
Live sex show.
Here's why.
It's already been done.
I know.
We need on the internet, this argument between AEW and WWE needs to stop. NXT UK, SmackDown 205 Live are clearly, main event in the last 3 months, way better than Raw.
That's because main events literally just, we get to go wrestle and nobody's really
and they can actually tell their own stories on main event. They tell their own story, and it's really cool to watch.
Yeah.
And actually, some of those actually might start getting on these pay-per-views as the pre-show matches. And I'm cool with it, because now I think even the guys like Bruce Pritchard want more eyeballs on their guys who have been working their asses off on main event.
Right.
And the ladies, too.
Yeah.
So you have this monster umbrella in WWE. You don't have to watch Raw. I get it. Raw's horrible to watch. Yeah. At this point, I watch Raw so you guys are informed. That's it.
Well, I do watch. I
appreciate you. We appreciate you.
I watched the condensed 2 hour version,
which is
much
better.
Which
is much better.
I
mean, it's still not a great show, but it's much better when you can watch it in 2 hours.
I enjoyed every Tuesday, and then I watched.
Then when
Wednesday,
it's actually
and then
when the show is really bad and you're watching it for 3 hours, I'm wishing someone would come into my house with a gun and shoot me in the head. Because Raw can be very, very bad for 3 hours.
Play games on your phone for a little bit.
But AEW, the problem with AEW is, unlike those shows where they have their own storytellers, their own stories going on, it's not consistent.
No.
It's not consistent at all.
No.
Okay? It's frantic as hell. So when we get into AEW, guess what? There's some things, once again, I really love on the show.
This is the number one thing I want to say about AEW, because I need to bring Leroy in. Leroy, you have watched Flair Steamboat. You have watched Flair with the Flair versus Dusty. You've watched the Horseman versus Dusty and his crew. You've watched Bruno versus, name the person. I mean,
the Road Warriors stomping a frickin' mud hole in everybody possible.
So, okay.
Yes.
So, okay,
Oh.
here's what I love.
love
War
that stuff.
Games / Blood and Guts used to be the big blowout. That's when Dusty and the baby faces got everything back.
Yeah.
So, with that said, that is also some of the biggest money-drawing era that wrestling ever had. I'm prefacing that because I'm trying to, quote, tell you this is not, so you can't argue with me. So we had Blood and Guts as the first match.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can't put that in the same breath as War Games.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Then we had to watch Stadium Stampede again. And apparently, War Games, for probably the first time ever, the babyfaces lost. Then, Stadium Stampede, or Stadium Fuckery, or Stadium Tomfoolery, whatever word you want to use for it, it was just bad.
Oh my God! You
The
said
heels,
that word within an hour. You said that word.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I've said it like 2 or 3 times. But anyway, but then...
He's impressive, too.
It is, yeah.
But then, we turn around, and Stadium Stampede ends up being... The faces get their heat back, but not because the feud's been good, but because they lost Stadium Stampede to a completely different group a year ago. But they were heels at the time, so there's no heat. And now, this is the weirdest booking I've ever seen because you've literally proven you're doing it backwards. Now, this celebration promo of the Inner Circle, they called out all their counterparts for actual legitimate wrestling matches. After we've already done War Games. After we've already done Stadium Stampede. Now it's time for the individual matches. Now it's time for Big Man versus Heavy. Now it's time for best working tag team in the business against a very good working tag team in the business. Now it's time for the Chairman. Can't believe I'm saying that. The Chairman versus the Spanish God. And then it's Le Champion versus... MJF.
Who,
Well,
to
is
his
his
credit,
elbow still bad?
What?
Le Champion.
Yes.
Technically, yes.
Yes, and technically. But what I'm saying is we're
It's
getting
stupid.
all of this after War Games. We're getting all of this after Stadium Stampede fuckery.
This is the AEW afterbirth dumbass move.
But it's like, how do you not know you're going backwards? How do you seriously look at this and say, for God's sakes, they're going on the road in like 2 weeks.
Yes, they are.
And they couldn't save Stadium Stampede, and they couldn't save Blood and Guts. First of all, don't give me this crap of, we booked Blood and Guts. You booked Blood and Guts, and you had to cancel it because of COVID. You proved it could be canceled.
Yes.
So you just cancel it again, and you push it to July when you're going to have to compete with WWE on the road, which maybe would have drawn a better number that night.
Yes.
But it's just... And you wouldn't have had the NBA playoffs.
Nope.
But it's like, folks...
Get more eyeballs in your program.
You're honestly telling me it's better because it's backwards. No! I didn't have to pay for Blood and Guts.
Neither did I.
Also,
I didn't watch it.
Also, some of the fans didn't have to because they got refunds.
That's true.
I didn't pay for Stadium Stampede because they're too dumb to get to not check YouTube the next morning. That was on for like 3 days.
Yeah, I know. All their pay-per-views.
It's like 3 days their pay-per-view sticks on YouTube.
I watched their pay-per-views.
So breaking
on YouTube.
news before you finish your thought. Eric said they just finished the DPW first trailer. So go ahead and send the link our way, and we will watch it at the end of the show. Why don't we watch it, boys?
We could do that. I'd be
we
down.
could definitely watch it at the end of the show, Eric.
And definitely, Eric, we, as Zach pointed out, you are hired. You're going to reveal your guy. We need him on the show.
We're going to get that guy. We're going to get.
We need to have him on the show. We need to have Eric on the show. We got to have Abby on the show.
It's just, what exactly?
Also, shout out to Darren Corbin, who will be back at First Wrestling once again, and I think he has some terrible things in mind in a couple of weeks. So
probably does.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, but
he needs to take a couple weeks off. He's kind of got.
Oh, he's a little
he got
busy.
in a recliner for a minute. And it wasn't a good one.
Yeah, he got a stinger from that.
I thought he got a Steiner from that, not a stinger. You're welcome.
Just drink your juice and shut up. Anyway.
It's water.
I know.
It's a natural necessity
Yes.
to life.
Well,
But my point is...
it could be something else because it's clear.
That is true. But it's just, Jesse...
Sounds good, Eric.
But it's just, Jesse, what are we doing? It's all backwards.
So you're asking me what AEW is doing. I can tell you what they're doing. Almost everything wrong. Almost. Listen, there are some good things. And since we're talking about them, let's just get into Spot Monkey.
Okay.
They're doing everything WCW did.
They're close.
But at least
Not quite
WCW
yet.
tried to do things in order. They tried.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
WCW didn't say, hey, it's a random Monday in June. Here's Starrcade.
Yeah.
At least they built to Starrcade on a
Yeah.
Sunday
True.
instead of just...
Maybe Tony Khan is watching his Georgia Championship Wrestling old tapes.
Oh, so we would have to watch it. So
And then-
we would have to watch it privately. No problem, Eric. We'll check it out.
We'll check it out.
And some infamy comes up and he's like, "Oh my God, we should do this."
Yeah.
And it makes no freaking sense.
I don't know. But
I
anyway,
think
Jesse...
he's watching
Jesse,
it down in the basement.
Would you like
of
to
the
get
stadium.
into Spot Monkey this past week?
So I would like to get into the good stuff on Spot Monkey first.
All right.
Because if I have to get into the elites, I'm gonna blow a stack in my head.
Yeah.
We're starting with the good layer. and
So
then
we're
maybe
gonna
some-
we're
maybe
gonna get to
some
the
shit
good
afterwards.
layers, and then we're gonna get to the.
There are good segments. Then there's 50 feet of crap. Then there's the elites.
No. Then there's hell, and then there's the 12th level of hell, and then there's the elite.
Well,
So
I went for a Moneyball reference so soon.
I know I got
Okay,
what you meant.
So soon. Sorry,
Great
Oakland
movie, by the
Athletics.
way. Excellent movie.
Yeah, I love it.
So good thing. Darby
All right.
Allin still has one of the best stories going on.
Oh yes.
So this week they kind of did a Darby just basically going out there saying, "Listen, you got Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page talking about how I couldn't have got this done without Sting because of course Sting technically won the tag match at the
yeah,
pay-per-view.
he did. Yeah.
Which again goes back to my theory of I actually am losing respect for Sting's own career because it's proof that he was helped more. Because why are you the one getting the pinfall? Sorry.
I think, I said, I think that was just set up because there was
They were
fans.
throwing-
Well, those visuals still matter.
Yeah.
They were throwing
true.
him a bone.
Yeah.
That's it.
So
Yeah, but Sting's not going to wrestle for the next 10 years. But then again, Darby might not wrestle for the next 10 years.
the way he kind of goes at it, he might not.
Darby might not be wrestling for the next
He
10
might just
years.
retire at 29. You never know. So,
blame him.
and then the story goes that Darby is just like, you know what? I'll face you two on my own. Now, of course, Sting interjects is like, you have nothing to prove to these guys. You were TNT champion before I got here. Like I said, the story stuff between him and Sting actually has turned very, very good. Clearly, Darby is mostly involved with his own stuff, which I believe he actually admitted to, because he says, I go into a room, write my stuff out, and then go to Tony Khan and these guys. So he writes his own stuff. So
Only thing
clearly he has a better mind
The
than
only
the
thing
head
I will
writers.
give Tony Khan in
That's
terms
good.
of credit as a booker is that he basically just ignores that Darby Allin exists. That's the best thing he's done as Booker of the Year is just ignore Darby Allin.
It's less work for him because Darby comes, hey, I got my stuff written. Awesome.
And he lets him do it, but it's some of the best stuff on Dynamite every week. So we could be leading. I think we're more leading to Ethan Page versus Darby Allin. We'll see what happens with Scorpio Sky. Apparently, he actually suffered a tweak in his ankle at the pay-per-view, so we may not see him wrestle for a couple of weeks. That's fine, no problem. Keep the wrestlers healthy since you're not doing a lot of shows right now.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
Get it.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't even remember. I don't think they have as many dates as even WWE schedule.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That, by the way, that's insane if they just hop back into that like that. Like,
Yeah, no hype, no nothing.
no,
There's-
we're just gonna go back on the road and we're gonna go to every city possible. WWE, bring that shit back. Okay,
Well, they're
That's-
hype in it.
Well, it's only 25 cities.
I thought it was 30.
in 2 months, it's 30 cities in 2 months.
That's fair. They keep whatever.
So,
They keep promoting it as a 25 city run, but,
but
like
it's,
you said,
it's technically 30 now
Yeah.
in 2 months.
yeah.
So, the other good thing that I do actually like is the Dark Order stuff with Hangman Page.
Yes.
And what is now, I think was basically now the end of their story with Team Taz.
Yeah.
And the continuation of Brian Cage probably breaking away from Team Taz.
Brian Cage will be in the Dark Order in 2 months. You watch.
Well, here's the thing. I actually always thought that Brian Cage was always a better babyface, and I know people were confused at that and like, why do you feel that way? Because I'm like, when I watched Lucha Underground, when I watched his better stuff in Impact, he was much better as a babyface to me. Even though he's this big guy, he actually does have a good heart. The whole get my shit and stuff has always just bothered me to my core because I'm like, you're hurt, you're that's a terrible attitude to have in wrestling. You should be more focused on being one of the best wrestlers / storytellers.
Yeah. Because
that's what's going to get you over into a megastar.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? So that stuff's going on. The only problem I have with the story is while him and Ricky finally kind of physically got into it, Ricky can't do anything because he's still hurt. He won't probably be healthy for another 4 months.
Right.
So I don't know how they're going to build to this, but it looks like the end of that story happened on Dynamite, and it was good.
And sadly, Ricky's injury is a prime example of AEW is not trying to build wrestling matches. They're calling spots.
Yeah, no, that's it.
That's all they're doing.
Because he got hurt on a spot with Hangman, I believe, in the match.
It was a German suplex that he tried to do with the total cartwheel into.
Yeah.
And he ended up landing on the back of his neck.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just take the freaking German.
Yeah.
And sell the German.
Yeah.
Because you're actually good, Ricky Starks.
Yes, he's great.
Yeah.
They want him to be a world champion, and I know why.
Yeah.
The guy's only 32. You got to get him into the main event as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
But that story ended perfectly. We'll see what happens with Team Taz, Brian Cage, and we'll see what happens next with Adam Page, because at some point you have to put him back in the world title picture. He clearly gets the loudest pop every time he comes out. He's clearly your biggest babyface.
You know what's really sad is that when Omega beat Page, because that was the build-up to that was one of the worst build-ups I've ever seen to a world title match. I'm serious. Find me a worse build-up to a world title match. But no, Brian Last said on the Jim Cornette Experience, and I actually thought this might have been brilliant. Mm-hmm. Okay, you beat Page. He's out of the Elite. Go let him wrestle for a little while, and then maybe build him up for a couple of months, and then he comes back, and then they play off the storyline that no one's ever kicked out of the One Wing Angel.
Yeah.
And then Page could have done that. The problem is that they've thrown him so far away from the title picture that to bring him back, because lazy booking Khan.
So the problem is, at some point, he now once again has to interact with his former Elite brothers.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Lazy booking Khan is probably just going to have him do a run-in on Kenny and say, oh, well, they've always had heat. This ain't Guerrero versus Angle where they can actually work that story whenever the hell they want. This isn't Triple H and Shawn Michaels. This is Kenny versus Page, which there's really nothing there.
No, not really.
There's not years of build-up to where you can just snap back to reality. Really. Boom, they're there.
I mean, not unless he runs in and, the Dark... Because the Dark Order, I believe, is now the number 2 tag team in the...
Are they number 2 at least?
I think they're number 2 now.
Okay.
So,
but the question is, are they smart enough to wiggle him in with the tag team story? Are they smart enough to do that?
Because they still, at some point now that you have fans back,
yeah,
either he's going to join the Dark Order or he's not. And that has to have a resolution, I think, at some point soon.
Yeah.
The friendship and all that has actually been beautiful to watch. It's actually the only reason worth watching being the Elite anymore. Outside, actually, I like Ryan Nemeth a lot. But
Ryan's entertaining.
But so is his brother.
Yes.
So I think it probably just runs in the family.
It's a family trait at this point.
And then the last good thing.
Yes.
And I do mean the last good thing.
Yeah.
Is
I know exactly where you're going to.
The absolute last.
Yep.
Maybe. I'll just mention this in passing. I love the Britt Baker stuff. It's weird because she's supposed to be a heel, but I think they're going to have to actually turn her face now.
Yeah.
She just got herself over too much. I think they're going to have to turn her face.
But see, now this is my worry about when live crowds come back for SmackDown.
Yeah.
Is Roman actually gonna get cheered?
Absolutely not.
No. He might write it first, but Paul's such a genius to make them all feel stupid.
Well,
about that.
I'll actually tell you guys why I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
One, he's so good right now. He comes off as such a swarmy dickhead. Like,
in a tracksuit, by the way. That's the thing. He don't need a suit. He just shows up in a tracksuit, and I hate this man.
And he's a manipulator now.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's the guy who in that story who's technically supposed to be a heel, but you can kind of see the babyface turn coming.
Yeah.
Jey Uso will probably get cheered.
Yes.
But Roman, not a chance in hell.
Which is perfect because he's not supposed to.
Now
be,
he's not supposed to.
It's brilliant.
But the last good thing I believe that's happening on the show is the continuing build of what does Christian Cage do next? Where is he going next? I believe they won the tag match this week.
Yes.
Yep.
And what I like about this so far, because I've been so like uncomfortable. The reason I've been uncomfortable with it is because I'm like, it felt like they were going to just go ahead and send him right to Kenny right away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. The guy's just coming back to professional wrestling.
Yes.
So
we don't need you getting hurt again.
Exactly.
Working with freaking Omega.
Doing with this freaking idiot, which I'll get into in all the negatives. But the continuing slow build of Christian has been nice.
It's not Spot Monkey on 13 cards without some negative Spot Monkey moments.
Because I think what he also does very well is he's also helping to build young wrestlers as he's building himself.
Shocking. A veteran comes in and realizes he can get a big payday and still put people over.
But it shouldn't be. It's not even shocking in this case because it's one of the best WWE guys ever. So, by the way, it's very true. If you actually watch his feet in a match, the guy still moves as peak as he ever has.
Christian, Edge to me.
Edge was the more entertaining of the two.
Yes, Christian was the more natural in the ring, even before the injury. Because again, like you said, Christian, it's not Shawn Michaels. It's not the level of Shawn Michaels,
no.
but his shit looks so good.
Yeah.
It almost looks effortless.
Yes.
That's one of the criticisms that Jim Cornette has had on Legacy of Shawn Michaels is it looked too good. Which, if that's the criticism you have of a guy, it's not a bad criticism to have. I mean,
I'd take that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I still think Shawn was one of the best in-ring performers of all time. He just was.
Oh, without
no
doubt.
No matter if he was having sunny days or not.
Who wasn't?
That's fair.
Even though she says it's not true. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway. No, AEW, I looked it up. They had like about 12 live shows they have posted so
Okay,
far.
yeah. Okay. So they don't actually have a lot coming up. But
no, WWE got a buttload.
So that's the good.
Yeah.
Let's get into the let's call it California-sized Earth shit.
Do we
that
have
is the bad.
to?
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Because guess what? It happened, and you know what? I'm sick and damn tired of all the people saying that this has been some of the best work on television.
You know who I'm not starting with? I'm not starting with the Elite. We're going to get to them.
I
we'll
wish I could play a little audio clip of the good, the bad, and ugly. But I can't because that would work so good right now. And I have screaming kids in the background.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
I'm going to start.
Strangle them, maybe.
I'm going to start with our first Rusev Day.
Where's the duct tape?
There you go. You get some duct tape.
Oh, the camera's on it. Okay, so grab the staple gun.
I have other duct tape.
He's a Midwestern guy. He's got duct tape in every drawer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's start with Miro.
Oh, God.
Apparently, Vince was right about him. The chant got over.
Yep.
The chant got
Yep.
over. What is he doing?
I don't know.
You cannot tell me, oh, man, they're building him like a monster. Not really.
No.
Not really.
Here's the other thing, though. Everybody wants to say, oh, great, Miro's finally there. So you're just going to Men in Black me and make me forget about the almost year run he had with the Best Friends, and nothing against your boy Chuck E.T., but he was embarrassed.
He's so underutilized in AEW, it's ridiculous.
But it's just... Here's the deal. I've actually enjoyed the Best Friends because I think that they can actually work. Because I've looked at Chucky, and yes, he's got a little too much of the comedy for my taste, but he can work.
Yes.
And Trent, I've always known can work.
Trent, to me, is a better version of Edge who just doesn't get his due.
Yeah, exactly. But my point is this, is that, okay, so I'm just supposed to Men in Black look into the light and forget that he had an 8-month feud over
And by the way, who he worked with, Kim Sabian, and one of Eric's workers' favorites, Penelope Ford, the very lovely Penelope Ford.
That's
and
about
guess
all we're going to
what?
say about that.
And guess what? We haven't even seen them on TV for 4 months. So even AEW doesn't care about them. They haven't even been on Dark. They haven't been on Elevation. They haven't even been talked about.
Well, old Pit Stop's been busy.
Has she? Has she?
I mean, maybe she's taking care of Kip Sabian's injuries, or maybe Kip Sabian finally had a mental breakdown and decided to go back to the UK. I don't hope he had a mental breakdown, but I do hope he went back to the UK because I don't want to see him anymore on my television.
They're taking a pit stop with Penelope.
Miro
sucks.
looks like a clown. And what's going to be stupid is they're going to bring his wife in.
Yep.
So once again, you need your wife.
Yep.
Because by the way, he's horseshit at promos.
Oh,
and
God.
It's not completely his. He doesn't speak the language very well. He just doesn't. Like, even when you watch a Switch, while he's entertaining playing some of the games, it's not his first language.
Yeah,
it might not even be his second or third. But
you know, they're going to bring her in. Well, what are they going to call her?
Or by her name, probably CJ. By her actual name.
CJ will work.
Yeah.
Because, again, CJ will
They can't call her Lana because, of course, WWE owns that.
Well, but the other thing about it is...
And Lana backwards is we know what. Continue.
Yeah. CJ will also be...
Yeah, no one ever talked about that.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
No one thought about that.
I'm like,
The problem is that CJ will be her name because she'll be known on Twitch.
Yep.
Because, again... Look, I'm fine with wrestlers having a Twitch, but if it's the launching pad for everything you do on television, come on, y'all. Really?
Listen, man. Well, by the way, being
Miro showed up, and the first thing you heard was freaking Excalibur talking about how he's big on Twitch and he met Kip through Twitch, and I'm like, this guy is a former strongman, I think it was.
Former strongman.
Professional weightlifter.
Yes.
Over in Bulgaria. He's an absolute freak. You can talk about his past wrestling. You can say United States champion because you don't have to allude to the U.S. title in WWE or the WCW one.
Nope.
You can just say United States champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, the first thing was Twitch.
Or you can just say he's been a champion everywhere he's been, because that's very true.
And no offense to Jesse, but now all of a sudden I hear that, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, so you're no bigger than Jesse, which is no offense to you, but you're not. But you're not on a major television network.
That's absolutely.
It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Like, they're gonna bring in his wife because he can't talk for shit.
No.
He should have never beat Lance Archer, but that happened.
Yeah.
So unless Lance is now like magically in the world heavyweight title picture, you've wasted his time. He should just go back to New Japan. At least they cared about him.
I said Spot Monkey Abyss was Jake. Now it's Lance.
Yeah.
Because you could go back to Impact. Like he could go back to Impact and just become Lance Hoyt again. He'd still be more relevant than he is in AEW as Lance Archer.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that Gato's got to be sitting here being like, man, I could have had this guy be one of my biggest heels. I could have had him be the Murder Hawk. I could have put him in Chaos. I could have put him in Bullet Club. He could have just been a lone wolf.
Well, he was in Suzuki-gun.
Yeah.
He was with Minoru Suzuki of all people.
Yeah.
So he looked like an even bigger monster because he was with that monster.
Yeah. Yeah. That 5'10" man where
that 5'10" man who will beat up a woman. He doesn't care.
Where if he tells me to eat my own shoe, I'll be like, with hot sauce?
He'll beat up your child if it gets ratings. Minoru Suzuki does not care.
He does not give a shit.
He does not care.
He's not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
He's not kidding.
It's absolutely factual.
I still have to say, I'm amazed.
He will pull your child out of the crowd.
I have a feeling somebody hid the video of Asuka getting beat up.
Oh, no. You can find it.
No. Let me finish.
Go for it.
I guarantee somebody hid that from Vince until she had a few more days in NXT, because Vince would have never hired her off that video alone.
Because that, by the way, go ahead.
Yeah, I did this. I just got to do that.
It was her idea, which was worse.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the thing. But here's the deal. If you give Minoru Suzuki an opening, he's going to bash through with dynamite.
He didn't care.
Oh, my God. And not that crappy wrestling show on Friday night. We're still on that, by the way.
So, Miro won.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
Lance.
So bad.
I read the results.
Painful, isn't it?
I'm glad I didn't watch it.
You got remember that the Varsity Blondes, we were talking about Brian Pillman Jr., right?
And this was my point earlier to Aaron's to Aaron's point.
So let's get into this. So remember, they lost because of the cheating of the Young Sucks.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
yeah, that's a new one.
should
You guys can have
copyright
that. The
fucker.
Young Sucks. I use it on the internet now because they like to be on the internet all the time, and eventually I want them to see that. I want them to send me a cease and desist.
They
so
listen.
I can be like, hey,
they listen.
who's different from WWE now?
Oh, they listen to everything that's said about them. I guarantee half the people that supposedly edit being the elite, because the Bucks certainly don't edit that shit. The fact of the matter is I guarantee somebody searches for their name somewhere,
There
everywhere.
we go. Young Sucks, brought to you by 13 Cards.
And so they beat them. Okay, they're already once again the number one contenders. That's how quickly the Young Bucks have gone through this tag division.
Yeah.
They are already the number one contenders yet again 3 weeks after being beaten by the Young Bucks on Dynamite.
And the only reason is because the Bucks are proving once again that
they don't know shit about tag team wrestling.
Well, there's that.
They really can't tell stories.
No.
I don't know how you guys all gave them over $1 million.
Here's the deal.
They're not that entertaining. No. Even as baby faces, they were barely entertaining.
Here's the deal.
I tried to give them a chance for a year.
You did.
My balls hurt from trying to give them a chance for over a year. I took a dump during their last match because to me that was more entertaining and more worth my $50 than watching them fight.
I could probably find a lady friend to probably hit with your balls.
Good. So I did.
Anyway.
Sorry,
once
Zach.
again, as we said earlier, from AB.
Oh, and last thing, sorry, you're never going to be better than the Hardys. Stop that. They're the best brother tag team. No, they're not. It's not even close. It's the Hardys.
Yep.
And then we can get into the Steiners, and then we can get into the rest of them.
You're not even able to lace up the boots of Harlem Heat.
No.
You're not even allowed
in
that category.
You can't even touch the shoebox of Harlem Heat.
God, I can't. Matt
Hardy tried his best in ROH,
Hardy's, Steiners, and Harlem Heat. I can't put any one of those above each other. They're just, for me.
May I say this?
Straight across the board.
Are we just going to ignore the Von Erichs?
Oh my God!
Oh, no!
Are we just going to sit here and ignore the Von Erich?
The greatest brothers. They're better than those three.
I'll say this.
And his two boys are...
Edge and Christian are a better brother tag team.
They're not actually brothers.
Brothers.
Now, the Undertaker,
the Brothers of Destruction are a better tag team.
There you go.
Oh, my
Von Erich should actually be my number
one.
one.
The Mega Powers were better.
I think if I would have grown up with the Von Erichs, they would always be my number one. I think the only reason they're not is because I grew up with the Hardys.
Yeah.
The Von Erich...
But watching those old matches, it's...
The Briscoes?
The Briscoes. I mean, listen... We get to like 50 before I even mention the Young Bucks. I haven't even gotten into the Japanese and UK ones. So, like I said, I can get into 50 tag teams. Some of them didn't even last a year in pro wrestling.
By next week, I want that list.
You know what? I'll give it to you.
Okay, all right. Write that down.
So
I might be able to do 50. I probably could do 100.
Write that. No.
Of what?
All I'm asking for is next week,
right.
Jesse will have, and honestly, Jesse, you could probably make that list just waking up.
I could probably make it tomorrow when I wake up before I go do my errands.
Yeah, exactly. All right, next week on the show, while we're still waiting for the Jim Cornette Experience to have the total amount of fines that would have been given out to the AEW roster in the old territory days, Jesse's gonna give us his 50 tag teams he would take before the Young Bucks.
Easy, gotcha.
And I hate to say it, there's probably about 3 or 4 teams currently in AEW he's going to mention before them.
And I'm guessing, don't forget the female tag teams.
Oh, no. Oh.
Okay, because there's probably some better ones in there. I know a couple.
There's going to be some so much higher.
And by the way, I just want to point out, we're not going to have you put them in any particular order.
Okay, I'm just going to list them.
Only because, ladies and gentlemen, we can sit here and do an entire show, and I'm not kidding, Rock and Roll versus Midnight. We can do an entire show on just that.
Yeah, there we go. I just know that Young Bucks will be 51, and then you'll have everybody up.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right, Jesse, what was next?
So the other pile...
We left Rusev Day.
By the way, I'm still not completely on the Elite yet. Yeah, not close, but we're getting there.
Yeah, he's not.
Are we getting some more hate mail there?
Once again, what are we doing with our women's division? What are we doing?
Oh, right. That's still there. I forgot about that.
I forgot. Sometimes I forget that they even have one when I don't watch Dark or Dark Elevation.
I think
because they damn sure never use them.
I think Britt Baker wakes up and forgets she's in AEW until she sees that championship belt. So anyway,
so let me get this straight. You had a corker. Like, I mean, there were some mistakes in there, but I still think it was a corker of a women's championship match a couple weeks ago at your pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And listen, Hikaru Shida, it's not her fault what happened.
No.
The woman is one of the best wrestlers. I don't know how you have one of the best Joshi wrestlers, and that's what you did with her. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
Good job. Listen, I understand that Raw is very, very terribly underutilized as far as the women when Charlotte or Becky isn't there.
Yeah.
But you guys do way worse than Vince could ever dream of. Okay? I have yet to see the women just feature them for 20 minutes again. Just something.
Yeah.
Something. Besides Britt Baker's promo
yep.
about what happened a week or two ago with Nyla Rose, who's now going to fight her for the championship.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen a women's championship match at all, like on Dynamite in the last 2 weeks?
I haven't heard about one.
All-inclusive wrestling forgets the fact that there are women that are supposed to be wrestling.
You know, I forgot they called themselves that. When's the last time Sunny Kiss was on Dynamite and not getting squashed?
Is Sunny Kiss even on Dark?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Well, at least he got him in Dark.
Oh, by the way, we'll see if they actually follow up with the fact that they finally completely broke them up on Dark and Elevation. Joey Janela and Sunny Kiss.
Okay, here's the deal. Next week, I've been wanting to do this for a while. Next week, write this down. Jesse's going to give his top 50 over the Bucks.
Yes.
I am going to give my take on all of this TV YouTube time and the inability to have all of this talent.
Yes.
Yes, people think we've already done that because we did our own booking. No, I'm legitimately going to map out what it means to have all this talent and literally do nothing with it.
Because, I mean, we talk about WWE not doing anything with talent. Oh, my God.
Well, but remember, Jim Cornette said it best. Y'all should have stayed in WWE, boys, when talking to FTR, because at least you wouldn't have been in the bullshit you've been in.
They would have been in matches. They would have been in stories. I mean, they might have not made sense, but they would have been there.
You would have worked with the Usos.
Yes.
I need that pen.
You could have made they actually might be Raw Tag Team Champions right now.
Yeah.
Just because Vince would have been like, at least I trust them.
Yeah.
I trust them, so I'm going to put the titles on them.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yeah.
And now, after I've dug through a ton of shit, and man, I'm suffocating it. The smell is murdering me. Like, parents, you can't tell me about wiping your baby's butt.
That's
because
Kenny's,
what I'm going through right now.
That's
That's
Kenny's
like
Joshi cologne.
Yeah, there we go.
It's like a
There
bad
we
day
go.
walking by the bathroom at work.
Now we get to the elite.
Yeah, we're finally there.
I'm not even going to start with Kenny Omega because if I do, I'll blow a stack. Let's start with the
We
idiot
did that
Young Bucks.
already.
Oh, but I'm not done with Kenny.
No. Leroy, don't forget, the hardest working champ in wrestling was not only on a pay-per-view where it was pre-taped, because again, it wasn't live. Sammy broke the illusion that it was live.
Yes.
Because I don't care what anybody says. Even if Tony Khan was paying for a jet, you ain't getting from in a post 9/11 world.
Yeah.
You ain't getting from Nashville to Jacksonville to Daly's place in less than an hour.
No.
It's not happening.
No, not at all.
But anyway, go ahead
So-
with these young sucks.
So with the Young Sucks, so now people we used to talk about the Baron Corbin vortex of evil.
I also just realized we had a segment on here with the Young Bucks' dad. Nobody made a Bambi joke.
I mean, somebody probably did shoot him off. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
We didn't make a Bambi
It's-
joke?
no one made a Bambi joke.
We like Bambi, that's why.
That's fair. That's fair. That's entirely fair.
Disney is better than anything the Young Bucks.
I hate
will
to
ever
say
do.
this, but if they're like the tag team Bambi, does that make Brandon Cutler Thumper?
Oh, we're gonna get to him right now. Oh, we're gonna get to this guy.
Oh,
It's another insult.
So
to
there
Thumper.
was a 6-man tag.
There was a 6-man tag.
Now Ray Phoenix got hurt.
He did.
By the way, this is why you don't allow your this is why Vince, as much as we want to be mad and all that, does not like to allow his wrestlers to work in other promotions.
Because at least if they get hurt in his promotion, he can write something about it.
Yes.
At least the creative team can write something
Yes.
and just move on
that
from
is
there.
true. Yeah.
Ray Phoenix got hurt in a different promotion.
Yep,
Ray Phoenix was technically also in the heavyweight division for the championship.
he was.
Yes, he
Ray
was.
Phoenix, now they just have to tell people, well, Ray Phoenix got hurt. But you can't tell them why.
No.
because it's embarrassing to go, oh, he got hurt wrestling for someone else. Anyway,
hold on a sec. They'll do. Okay, so here's the deal. They won't say that.
Yeah.
But they'll cancel a women's title match because of bar wrestling. Anyway, go on.
Because
I ain't letting nobody forget about that bullshit because that was one of the first rants I had on the show.
We're not going to forget about that.
You can't look at Joey Ryan and be like, no. Chris Statlander is one of our biggest growing stars. She wrestles for us on Wednesday
Jim
nights.
Cornette may have actually been highballing when he suggested write Joey a $1,500 check.
I would have gave Joey, $20, some Cheetos, and told him I won't tell the world about his sexual endeavors. Anyway,
you give him $20?
$20. That's what Joey Ryan is worth.
I'd give him some couple big of Cheetos.
Joey's got to pay for tanning oil. Come on.
Exactly.
To look like an out of date brown.
Also,
the
$20. The $20 covers the fact that for anyone to actually go to a show of his again, he's going to need to buy the sanitizer. So when they're done at a show, they can clean themselves of his horse shit. Now,
is bar wrestling still looking for another venue?
Probably. They'll never exist again.
I haven't heard.
Not with the name Joey Ryan still.
Well, he tried to get on that women's charity thing because
he's a stupid idiot.
Because the email actually went back to bar wrestling.
Yeah,
that was the email address they used for that show.
Yep,
that's nuts.
Yeah.
So, the Elite. This is so bad. Now Eddie Kingston is incorporated in it. Now, here's the thing. Yes, the Young Sucks beat Mox and Kingston. We kind of saw it coming because, Mox finally smart enough going, okay, my wife's having a kid. I should probably step away and help her a little bit. Actually, smart.
Big ups to her, by the way. Still has not stopped working the entire time. Oral sessions have been great. I've loved all the interviews she's done. She brings out a different side of this business from everybody.
That's great.
Because I think a lot of the wrestlers, they've never seen her as an interviewer because she was in WWE so long, and we don't even realize she was there for like 7 years.
Long time.
Damn.
But they think of her like a friend.
Yeah.
So when she asks, they're like, of course.
But I want to point this out. I'm gonna get a little arrogant about this. She's from the world of hockey. we know a thing or two about dealing with people in interviews.
True.
Hockey's great. Hockey's got the best interviews in the world.
So we come from the right state. There.
Exactly. So you have that. Okay, so he's gonna go take care of his wife, get a little healthier. No problem with that. No problem with that. Take a few months off, John. Do what you got to do.
Probably
even told New Japan once things clear up, I'll be back.
Probably gonna end up in GCW once or twice, but
he's John. He's gonna do what he wants at this point, and you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Because John actually is entertaining in whatever he does, I don't mind. But taking the time off,
he soured me with a couple of things, but I still want to say that was more Kenny's booking than actually him.
It was at this point. Kenny Omega has a stink that I'm gonna get to in a second.
Anyway,
but the Young Sucks.
Yes.
So now
to the Young Sucks.
Eddie Kingston
brought to you by 13 Cards of Change.
Eddie Kingston, who
T at the top.
Trademark that shit.
Who I have revered. I'm a New Yorker. I revere Eddie Kingston.
You do.
Yeah. If I get the chance to meet the man, he's like, damn, man, get off of it. Like, I appreciate the love, but damn. But because the guy's been working his ass off for over 20 years.
Well, but
and finally getting a little deal.
Eddie, as we said, is the embodiment of everything that the rest of the world doesn't see New York as.
Yes.
You guys are a glitz and glam kind of city to the rest of the world, but that real New Yorker style.
It's grimy. It's gritty. You grind everything out. You work for everything you get.
That's Eddie.
He is now dragged into this vortex of horseshit.
Yep.
So I thought,
and not even Eddie can get himself out of it. It's so bad.
I thought, right? So when they lost, I thought, okay, this gives Eddie a chance to break away a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, and Eddie can go and do other stuff because I think they're gonna break away Pac and the guy who probably should be world champion right now, Penta El Zero. They're gonna let those guys do other things, and then I'm sure they'll come back to the Elite horse shit at some point. Okay. No. So I was wrong. Remember I said, because Orange Cassidy got 4 visual pins at the pay-per-view.
He did.
4 visual pins on both guys, by the way. So 2 each.
Yep.
So the week after the pay-per-view, Orange Cassidy, they had him cut a promo where he's basically, technically, still a top 2 contender for the championship, even though he got pinned at the pay-per-view. Their rankings are horseshit. I get WWE doesn't have them, and this is why. Because if you cannot follow through on them, why do you even have them?
The other thing about it is as much as some people might argue with me on this, because this was always done in the old territory days. Look, we all know the show's 2.5, 3 hours. Stop giving me time limits. You never freaking follow it. It don't mean nothing.
No.
You're going to sit here and tell me that all your title matches are 60 minutes like they are in Japan, but you'll go 20 minutes and no one's calling out the 5-minute mark, no one's calling the 10 minutes. It's like, it's all spots. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Stop giving me times when I know that, guess what? You're going to go 20.
Like it's already been said
Usually.
from the American New Japan fans, they are a much, much lesser version of New Japan. That's all they are.
Oh, yeah.
That's all they are. It's a much
Yeah.
weaker version of New Japan.
Yeah.
So, which is why New Japan is trying to get into America. There's a reason.
Because there's a desperate need for a second promotion.
Yes. So,
Love you, MLW.
right, we love you guys, but there's a reason you decided to partner with WWE. You're smart. You get it.
Yeah.
So, if Orange Cassidy is still a top 2 contender,
Top 2.
Top 2.
then why is Pac still involved with the Elite? Why is Penta El Zero, who, by the way, I mean, had like a 2-week feud with Cody only to get beaten and buried?
Well, but to be fair, Cody needs something to do every 2 weeks, every 3 months. So,
By the way, you're absolutely right. He's on to something new. By the way, they lost their tag match to the Factory, but he's already going to be announcing something. He's on to something new.
again, the reverse of it. We already it just.
He started so good, though.
No.
Like what? I don't understand. Cody used to be the one thing I'm like, on AEW
here's
television,
how
Cody is going to give me great
Yep.
TV every week.
Here's how it should have gone. It should have gone. Anthony Ogogo punches Cody.
Yes.
Knocks out Cody.
Yes.
Put the flag over. Don't care.
Yeah.
Then on Dynamite, not on Dark, cut a promo. Anti-American. Fine. Don't care.
Yeah.
Then have a tag match. QT and Anthony Ogogo versus Cody and
Whoever.
Somebody.
Whoever. I think
Nightmare.
they've been pushing Lee Johnson more, so probably Lee Johnson.
Give him one of the guns. I don't care.
Yeah.
Then have a Go-Go pin Cody. Then have Cody answer the promo of a Go-Go. And then this yo-yo is finally over. And we have a match.
Oh
no.
But no. No. That's not what we got.
This is the most Wham has gotten in years. As big as that song is, this is probably the most Wham's been talked about in years in the United States.
You're welcome, Andrew. So
Back to whatever this was.
I'm trying to understand why.
If you want to come on the show, folks, we will always have a wonderful assortment of baked goods.
I'm trying to understand why Pac and Penta El Zero feel the need to get involved in this when pretty much their stuff should be over with the Elite for now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like I said, Penta El Zero has had a couple of injuries, which, by the way, once again, this is why Vince does not allow his talent to work for other people, which why, Triple H has made these deals so when they do go do so, at least they have an understanding. They can put insurances in place like, hey, if you go and get hurt, that's on this company, and whatever happens while you're gone happens. You'll have to work back up. And there's an understanding.
And for those of you who are like, well, then why would you go over there? It's like A, exposure.
Yes.
And B, MLW knows they ain't that big, so why? So what's a little insurance policy that's technically on the wrestlers, not them, to get more exposure? They ain't stupid.
Yeah. So if they borrow, to me, the second best world champion in well, the third best, because Shingo just has always had my heart, but if they borrow the big Fatu brother, the oldest brother, listen, he's going to become an absolute megastar because no one's gotten to see him on that level yet. And to see him on that level will do him a world of good. What has happened to the Impact talent involved with the Elite is burial because they don't look any better. They all look worse, okay? And no one's getting over. No one gets over. Besides the young subs.
I finally now know why they dug so many holes in the book holes. It was to bury AEW talent.
Exactly.
Along with the Impact talent.
And, the song Holes was playing behind it while it was happening. Also,
and Kenny's dressed in an orange suit, and he's got the Elite behind him. They're all singing it.
Also, you think Kenny is the
You
most?
could probably actually put Shia LaBeouf in this, and it might make sense.
If you think Kenny Omega is the most,
It just might. Yeah.
if you think Kenny Omega is the most unintimidating champion, oh my God, the Young Bucks. But it's the same match. People tell me that WWE has the same matches all the time.
I've been telling you that for months.
It's the same match. It's the same damn match.
The only outlier they had was FTR.
Yeah.
But the problem was it went too long.
Yeah.
That was the problem. They could have cut 10 minutes off of FTR. Jesse, before we move on, you and I, we still watch the old days of classic tag team wrestling.
Absolutely.
The Midnight Express,
Yeah.
Bobby Eaton,
Of course.
in whatever
Of course.
inclination you
Yeah.
want. The Rock and Roll Express, the
Yep.
Russians,
Yeah.
the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
There's an art form to tag team
Yes.
wrestling. And it's not spots.
No.
It's not double team. See, the problem here is they've taken the idea of tag team wrestling and they believe that it's all about, and I'm serious, it's all about the double teams.
By the way, embarrassing the refs because they just don't give a shit about it.
Oh, the refs are the most buried people here.
Like
It's-
the Elite buries more refs than I think Charles Manson is responsible for murders.
And by the way, folks, for those of
I'm
you,
just saying.
yeah. And by the way, for those of you who are sitting there saying, "Oh, the Bucks could be in any era," that's a $50 fine per night. That would have been $50 back in the old territory days.
They don't adhere to any 10 counts.
No.
They
Rick
don't
Knox
care.
doesn't even count. And why are we saying referees? Why, like it's plural? It's Rick Knox
Oh,
every
no.
night.
The problem is, it is Pearl. I've seen them do this to Aubrey. She's supposed to be your strong
And you
lead
want to know?
female
By
ref.
the way, did anybody notice at Double for Nothing? And again, I'm not trying to make a sexist comment. Did anybody notice that proved that it was pre-taped because Aubrey had the eyeshadow at the end of Stadium Stampede? I'm sorry, if she worked that whole night, folks, the visual matters. She shouldn't have had eyeshadow that looked that good. If you think that I'm nitpicking, no, that's a visual that you can't get out of someone's head.
Aubrey, when she's allowed to just be a ref,
Yeah.
if she's a part of the story,
Yeah.
when done right, she's actually very damn good.
The girl on SmackDown in WWE,
she's very damn good.
She's got credibility out the ass.
Yeah, she's
when
very
she tells
good.
these guys to stop,
Yeah.
even Seth Rollins is like, all right.
Of
course, Becky probably whip his
Sarah,
ass.
I believe Sarah.
Sarah,
her
yes,
name is,
thank
her
you.
name is.
But anyway, no. I've been saying this since the start of AEW because here's the deal: what they did in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, fine. What they did in New Japan, fine. Boys, I don't need to see PWG on AEW. Nothing against PWG.
Well, here's the thing.
But it's the same thing.
In PWG, you expected free-for-alls. It was supposed to be pure entertainment. Oh, there's that word again. Entertainment.
But at least PWG, much like Chikara, they built in reasons
yes.
for chaos.
And then as far as New Japan, Red Shoes. The whole point was Red Shoes knew. I don't want to throw out a match. That was always the story for the main event.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw out a match because that's not right to the fans.
Yes.
So he tries different things to get matches in order. So it makes sense when he doesn't count.
But back to
people
my
out.
point is, Jesse, Leroy, we were just talking while you were out of the room. We all still adhere to the great days of tag team wrestling. We talked about the Von Erichs. We talked about the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, the Steiners, Harlem Heat, all these guys. Jesse, there are rules in tag team wrestling that are specific solely to tag team wrestling.
Yes.
Apparently, the 5 count is non-existent.
Yeah.
I remember when double team moves meant something.
Yes.
I remember when you could get heat on a guy, but the referee was completely turned around instead of staring at the heat. It's not heat if the referee sees
exactly.
it. It's not. I remember when, folks, you think the Bucks are good heels. Do you all realize that Jim Cornette is not lying when he says him and the Rock and Roll Express were at one point some of the most protected guys in the business because they were literally about to get stabbed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, people hated the Midnight Express.
Yes, they did.
Bobby Eaton arguably is up there in terms of Piper level of heat. At the peak of Bobby Eaton's career, he may have been as hated as any point in time that Roddy ever had.
If you watch AEW treasures and they talk to Cornette. He
WWE
he has the racket that he hit somebody in the head because a fan was trying to beat
A&E. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Was going after a wrestler.
Yeah. But
they hated
but
him.
It's just there are
actually,
rules.
I think that was actually Vice, but still great.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, definitely watch it.
But folks, that's just it. There are rules to tag team wrestling. There are things that make tag team wrestling great. And yes, once you've made the comeback and you've made the hot tag, your clock is ticking.
Yes.
You got to get out.
Yeah.
And the problem with
You
young
have to get out.
young suck matches, is that the match continues for too long.
It's 2 matches in one.
Like
The first
there's
half
no
of their match.
consistency.
I hate to say this. The first half of their match looks like an actual tag team match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A few too many spots, but looks like an actual tag team match. Then there's the comeback. Then there's the hot tag. And then it's just another match starts all over again. And then it's a classic Young Bucks match. And I hate to say this. It's a classic Young Bucks match when they were working with good tag teams over in Japan. Because the first half is PWG. Because it's chaos.
Yeah.
Then there's the hot tag. And it's like, all right, good, we're out of here. No. Then it's... Again, nothing against PWG or Japan, but I'm watching 2 different companies in one match.
And you shouldn't be mashing them together.
As
like
much
that
as
unless
Jesse
you're doing
loves
it right.
PWG,
And I do.
If he wants to watch New Japan Strong, he's not looking for PWG.
Nope.
He's looking for New Japan.
Yeah, that's what I would be doing.
And if he watches PWG, he's accepting it's not going to be New Japan.
Exactly.
It's just okay. Look, okay, this was bad in so many ways, and I hate to say it. I'm actually going to add one more bad to your list here before you even get to Kenny, because yes, Kenny will be the ultimate layer
The
of crap.
ultimate pile of shit.
How do you botch Andrade?
Oh no! You know what?
How do you botch El
I
Idolo? By the way,
I was actually about to get into him. So
by the way, El Idolo was at the beginning of his Andrade
Yes.
theme in WWE.
Yes.
But no, here's the thing: you botched this, and it wasn't because of Vicky.
no.
Vicky actually did a great job.
Oh, Vicky does a great job.
But you botched it because
Yeah.
guess what? Your own fans barely reacted to this. Because you didn't hit the... Okay, Jim Cornette hates when you play music for a run-in. This is where you play the music, boys!
Yeah.
You've got one of the best wrestlers in the history of... Yes, in the history, he could wrestle in any era of Mexican wrestling.
Yes.
He's that good.
He's
He
that
is.
great.
He's that...
Very
by the
good.
way, he is the Shawn Michaels of Mexican wrestling.
Yes.
Everything looks too pretty.
Yeah.
But like in the best way.
Yeah.
What, did you see him suplex or
I saw him...
in the pool with Ric Flair?
Oh yeah, he suplexed Rick into the pool.
Suplex into the pool. I'm like,
Yeah, listen,
wow, that
man.
looked beautiful.
But it's just, Jesse, how do you...
Well, because even Rick recognizes, like, man, this guy is actually one of
yes.
the best.
Yeah,
in the,
but
on
Jesse,
the, in the
how do
planet.
you botch this?
this is
This was on a
AEW.
silver platter for you, and this was one of those moments where I'm like, okay, it's literally, you can't... I'll be honest, I'll take the heat for it. I actually thought that AEW was handed something that not even they could screw up. And they screwed it up. And for those of you who are like, how they screwed it up? They
By
haven't
the
done
way,
anything
they
with it.
double screwed it up
Yeah.
because instead of having Mark Henry leave the ring when Vicky originally brings him out,
Yeah.
she could have been like, you being here is one thing. I
Yeah.
got something way better than you. And then the music hits, you would have been like, whoa,
But
this is awesome.
But not only that, Jesse. You could have had El Idolo appear on the screen.
Yeah.
How much money are we spending on this and we can't get El Idolo to appear on the screen? You botched this so bad. And I'm looking at myself like, Jesse, we could have brought him up to a Heavy On show and couldn't have fucked
By
this
the
up.
way, didn't bring him on next week or nothing. Only mentioned the fact that he'll be on this week in an interview segment. Now, the interview is going to be great because he's with JR. And if there's something JR can still do very well when he actually cares, it's interviews.
He should have had a squash match before we even got to the interview.
Listen, even if you don't do a match
Yeah.
before you do the interview, just have the guy come on television.
You know what you could have done? And I'm serious. This is going to be the first time I'm actually going to agree with this. Have him appear randomly on Dark, because then everyone's going to tune into your show on a Friday night. This is the only time where I agree with TNT. If this is your time slot, you need to somehow preface who's going to be on.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
He could have gone on Dark.
Yeah.
He could have squashed whoever they want on Dark. And by the way, no offense to the guys on Dark, but for most of you, and I'm serious about this, for most of the guys on Dark, just to be in the ring with this guy, that's the biggest you've been. End of story. That's the biggest you've been. What you want to think? But no. He could have appeared on Dark. It would have been on every dirt sheet. Meltzer would have
he
had
has
it. It
some-
would have been everywhere.
He has some wrestling history with Angelico, who they use a lot on Dark and Dark Elevation. Put them in a match
But
together.
that's
Let
what
them
I'm
go.
saying.
there we
Angelico
go.
comes out on Dark. He shows up.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, every Facebook page that's wrestling has got something on this.
There might have been a chance you compete with the third hour of Raw because people are like, whoa, let me check this out.
Yeah.
Because what's going on Raw I don't like, so let me check this out.
All I'm saying is this, folks. You had it built in.
Yeah.
You had 6 different ways.
Yeah.
And you chose option 7, which was garbage.
I know.
And everyone's looking at me and saying, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, they did not react.
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
They didn't react to this.
So the people who reacted in the front, go ahead.
I watched a video clip on that, and I was like, Vicky, I was like, they reacted to her saying,
excuse
"Shut
me,"
up.
over and over again.
Excuse me, and I'm like, yeah. And then he came out, and I was like, well, where's everybody screaming? Nobody.
It was in the front.
Yeah.
And that's
But
it.
by the way, those are the wrestlers that they still have in the front.
Yep.
So the front
Because
was
these
reacting.
idiots are going to fall in the audience and they're going to get sued, and Tony actually knows that. So one thing his
Yep.
dad's telling him is like, you got to put these wrestlers the first 3 rows because otherwise we're going to get sued.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Don't throw anybody in the first
Yeah,
3
exactly.
rows.
I will
So-
say this. Okay, Jesse's from that area of the country. The only crowd ever that would not sue if someone threw in, besides PWG
Oh, it's the
Knowledge
East
Day,
Coast.
would be ECW.
Yeah, it was
They
yeah.
knew what was going to happen. They knew what they were in for.
you were
Yeah.
you were okay with it. You were expecting it when you paid for those front
You
tickets.
were aware that Sabu was going to end up in your lap.
Like, you knew there was a chance Rey Mysterio could take you out for
Yeah,
flying.
yeah, exactly.
Like you were more than like, dude. If I could catch Rey Mysterio, this is gonna be a great damn night.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was there and catch a foot from Rey Mysterio and get knocked out,
But
I'm
my
set.
point is this: you
Oh
got
my
a
God.
guy with
Yeah.
you got a guy with a no compete clause.
Yeah.
He's available right away.
Because he's already signed to AAA.
He's already gotten the ring rust off of being the time
Yeah.
off because he was in AAA.
Yeah.
And you just guys, it was a literal wah 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 moment. Because it
Yeah,
was just
it
like,
was.
what are you doing? No music, he just walks out. Because that was the thing. I'm watching the highlight of it. And I'm like, okay. Well, I already knew it was Andrade before I
Yeah.
watched the highlight because I saw that,
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
dirt sheets go
yeah.
up. But it's like, I'm watching, and the camera just goes to him. And I'm like, look, you can debate the...
Before you finish your thought.
Yeah.
So, of course, the news came out recently that Bruce and a few of the other head writers, including Paul Heyman,
Are trying to bring Alistair back.
trying to bring Tommy back because
Yeah.
they
Yes,
thought
yes.
the Nick Khan, who might by some of his firings might actually be related to Tony.
Well, but the thing about it is, is that...
I'm gonna finish real quick.
Yeah.
Is that
they
they're
even
trying to
said-
bring him back.
They even said,
Tommy,
yeah.
get more money, go back.
Yeah.
Get more money,
Well,
go back.
Well, they even said he probably was a victim of just A, bad creative,
Yeah.
and B, time at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because the father character, apparently all of creative were actually into him.
Oh, yeah,
couldn't wait.
Yeah.
And Nick felt like he was making too much money. And like I
We
said,
have to get to that soon.
and we,
so
and we will.
so-
But I just want to say, Tommy, go back.
Yeah.
Go back.
Yeah.
Yes.
So anyway,
After watching Andrade,
Yeah.
and what AEW just did,
yeah.
unless New Japan comes calling,
Yeah.
go back.
But that's my thing. To finish up, I don't know how they screwed this up. They did. All right. I know you
It's
want
AEW,
to. We got to get
that's how
through
they
Kenny
screwed
so
up.
we can get to the
better
NXT thing.
stuff?
So
But
really quick,
Yeah.
really quick,
Yeah.
really quick. Once again, this man is the worst fucking champion of professional wrestling. a title that I thought was, and I still think is beautiful.
Yeah.
All credit to Cody and Tony for that title design.
Yeah.
That is a championship.
That was the old
That's
Mid-South title?
kind of, and then they
Something like that,
They
yeah.
beautified it, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's about to bury a young talent.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second
yeah.
most over guy in your company. He's gonna fucking beat him in 2 weeks. He's gonna beat him in 2 weeks.
And by the way,
And then
Isn't
Jungle
it-
Boy's not going to be anywhere near the picture.
oh, by the way,
for like 5 months.
Oh, by the way, you're
I
going
thought
to hear
it'd
it
be
first
next
on,
week. Or
I, I,
is it-
Yeah,
I think it's 2
this
weeks.
week or next
No,
week?
it's
It
2
was
weeks.
2 weeks after the pay-per-view.
Because so they actually have a Saturday Dynamite because once again they're not going to get any play on Wednesday because of course of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And TNT's like, why would we give up Wednesday night for your little 800,000 when we can get 10 million
Yeah.
for the damn
But,
NBA playoffs?
but no. I just got to point something out, and you're going to hear it here first. He's going to beat Jungle Boy clean.
Yep.
Yeah.
Center of the ring.
Yep.
One-winged angel.
Yep.
Center of the ring.
Yep.
He's going to beat him clean.
He's going to beat him clean. Absolutely clean.
Because remember, Kenny, the wrestling artiste, cannot do the same performance twice like his young fucks. He has to turn around and he has to have a different performance.
Young sucks.
Whatever.
Either way, brought to you by 13 Cards.
To quote Roman, does it really matter?
No, not
Anyway.
really.
I'm going to start quoting him on the show when
right?
it comes to AEW.
But anyway, no.
You're not even on the island of relevancy.
Kenny Omega cannot have the same performance 2 weeks in a row. So Kenny Omega must give a different performance this week. So instead of the belt thing that he did at the pay-per-view, which was actually a good heel move, surprised it came out of Kenny, he's going to beat Jungle Boy clean.
Yep.
Because again, the Elite is literally just trying to Hulk Hogan Warrior WCW this until finally they'll beat everybody, and then someone's going to come in and get the victory. But it's like, but you already beat him. I don't want to see this again. That's the whole Paige thing. You already beat Paige, and Paige has no build-up.
No.
But anyway, no. We're not going to spend too much time because it hasn't happened yet. But no, literally the shittiest thing is something that hasn't even happened yet because he's going to beat Jungle Boy.
He's going to beat him. It's so messed up because I watched this guy win the 20-man battle royal.
Yep.
I've watched him get the second biggest pop of the night that he deserves because the kid's been working his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
Especially since his great father, rest in peace, Luke, passed away. And now we're going to watch this kid go back to nothing because Kenny has to stroke his ego.
He'll be on Rampage.
Also,
he'll be on Rampage.
I'll go play with his
By the
dinosaur.
way, where's Kenny's favorite Riho at? Don't see her anymore. What happened? I thought you loved the young lollies. What happened, Kenny? What happened? By the way, he books
Maybe
their
he's got a
women's
new
division. He books their women's division.
He does.
This like I said, there's good, and people ask why I don't get so mad at Raw. Because I've gotten used to the abuse. I understand it's an abusive relationship, and I just take it. I just take it because I've loved it since I was like 7 years old.
But at least it's consistently bad.
But it's consistently
instead of being schizophrenically bad.
And WWE's case, at
there's
this
a
point,
consistently
Raw is Raw is boringly bad because you know what's going to happen.
Yep.
So okay, we understand it's going to be boringly bad, or at times
I hate to say it. Ricochet actually has more character development on Raw than he would in AEW.
Not even. That's why he hasn't left.
I know.
Smart of him not to.
I know.
Once again, unless New Japan or somebody like that comes calling, why would I leave?
Yeah.
Listen, I feel bad for what's about to happen to Jungle Boy in 2 weeks.
Yeah, same.
Because this is the Elite stroking their egos. You guys should have won the championships when you first got there.
At least when they had the Survivor Series match years ago, when it was a bunch of baby faces on Raw versus Evolution, and it's like, oh, they're just going to give themselves title matches. At least we knew it was going to end at the end of the month. This has been 2 years of this.
Oh, yeah.
It's been 2 years of this crap. All right, so moving on from that to a topic that I gave to Leroy that I want Jesse's opinion on and Leroy's opinion on is, ladies and gentlemen, the topic is NXT failures.
Okay.
And that is including call-ups and people who have failed in NXT.
Yes.
I want to preface this by saying something that I think every wrestling fan should know or at least knows. We got so angry over the loss of Aleister Black, who at that point, 50-50.
I mean, to be fair, he was a 50-50 call-up in the sense that they were always trying to give him something to do.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman had gotten stale. To preface this by saying, Leroy, and Jesse knows this as well, and Jesse knows this well from New Japan because of excursions.
Yeah.
Guys get stale, you send them away for a while,
and bring them back.
and they go to another territory, they do something else, blah blah blah. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is, my main point of the preface before we get into the individuals, y'all get mad when they get cut, but there's also proof because y'all can't stop typing and hitting send that you didn't give a damn about them when they were on television. And yet, everybody wants to sit here and be like, why'd you get rid of this guy? I'm like, yeah, because that guy was the second coming of Stone Cold versus The Rock. Okay. Guys, this is the wrestling business. Less than 1% of anyone that's been in this business has actually, quote, drawn money.
Yeah.
Okay? That is not up for debate.
Yeah.
If you're telling me that Braun and Aleister were somehow rocking Stone Cold, you'd laugh me out the building. You'd laugh yourself out the building. Guys, people getting cut is not the end of the line.
No.
You're pissed because it's the biggest company doing it, and you've been blinded by the hopamine that Tony Khan is like, I'll keep you around even if I don't use you. But somehow they have cachet built up with you that they've not earned, that they don't deserve. If anything, if Vince hoarded talent, he should get cachet, but he doesn't.
No.
He gets everything. AEW is literally opposite day.
Yes.
First of all, Miro Day, Rusev Day, not even close. Second of all, you cut someone, they go to AEW, woohoo, they have a chance. They're not even on Dynamite.
No.
Someone gets cut from AEW and WWE signs them to their developmental program. It's like, why'd they go there? Because maybe they're getting paid more to learn how to do this shit correctly. I don't flippin' know. You also want to sit here and give me crap about all the guys. Can we all...
Hell, going to NXT is a good thing because at least they give you a couple chances to create something.
Can I just say this? And this is not even a wrestling topic. We all saw what COVID was.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what it was going to be.
Yeah.
Hindsight being 2020, I don't think WWE would have signed all those people.
No.
But they talent hoarded because they didn't know if somebody was going to be out for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, despite their quote-unquote breakout, everybody made television for the most part. Even Drew made television.
Yeah.
But that's my
True.
point. It's like everything that you guys said, everything that you believe, and I hate to say it, even your opinions are bullshit because the facts don't support it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact of the matter is this. Vince is cutting labor because no business on God's green earth, even the wonderful business you and I are in, can figure out labor. No one knows the perfect labor number.
No.
Okay?
No.
And for those of you out there, labor is a very large portion of your bill.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, well, WWE's making $200 million. Production costs, production assistants, talent contracts. The McMahons are therefore the owners. They get some off the top. That's just how business works.
Yeah.
TV contracts. You have to pay for lighting. You have to pay for camera work. You have to pay for hardware, catering. You guys think that labor is the only thing they're paying? No! Vince McMahon gets $200 million from the Saudis. You want to know how much it costs to probably produce the show in Saudi
Probably
Arabia?
half that, to be
Probably
honest.
half that.
Probably
Also,
close to
Vince
half
has
that.
to pay taxes on it.
Yep.
So it's like, people,
Yeah, and they're not.
context, again, must be a real thing. NXT failure. Did they fail? Yes, there are people that got failed by WWE. We talked about with Eric Young. But here's the deal. Not even Eric Young was going to be rocking Stone Cold.
No.
This business, less than 1% draws money.
Yeah.
The rest of it sits there and is like, okay, I got my check tonight. But you got on TV.
Yeah.
Yep.
Guys,
Hell, in WWE,
sitting-
to be fair, they still get a portion of their contract even when they're not on television.
Yeah.
But it's just, guys, not every, look, and here's the deal.
There's a reason a lot of them are, they'll leave or they'll get
Yeah.
cut, and they'll actually be financially set for a while.
Yeah,
Like,
and can I also say this? People want to talk about every NXT person outside of like 2 or 3 were failures. Guys, y'all remember the Attitude Era? We look back on it so fondly.
Oh, yeah.
How many different world champions were in the Attitude Era?
a
About
lot.
6?
Well, there were.
It wasn't a lot at its peak. World title?
Yeah. Well, if you think between like 97 and 2001, it was probably like 6 guys.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Jesse, everyone's mad that Rhea Ripley's more bland. Guys, Rhea Ripley had to reinvent herself.
I will say this about the Rhea Ripley thing.
Yeah.
Not her fault. She is bland, but that I will always break it down this way.
Yeah.
The difference between, when the NXT failures, as we call them, including the call-up failures.
Yeah.
A lot of it doesn't even have to do with what happens in NXT. It has a lot to do about the main roster. Here's what I'll say about it really quick. Rhea Ripley being a prime example. Sometimes writers in the main roster have no idea what they're doing. Now, to be fair to them, and I'll actually give Brian Alvarez a little credit on this.
Yeah.
Because he's absolutely right. There's nothing worse for writers than they give an idea, and then 2 hours before the show, rip. Like, well, then what am I writing for? So when she gets on television, her material is terrible. Yeah, like, there's no doubt.
But
And to be fair to them, she also hasn't delivered it in the best way.
yeah.
But I don't think that's her fault.
No.
Now,
But the one thing that
call her a failure?
right.
Ridiculous.
But I'm also trying.
She's the Raw Women's Champion.
right. But I'm also trying
She's probably actually going to beat Charlotte Flair
Right.
at the pay-per-view.
but okay, Leroy. You watch the territory days. You watch Saturday mornings.
Yes.
You watch the heyday of the WWF. Okay? I want to point something out. Piper was never Hogan,
No.
but Piper's successful.
Yes.
Piper was never Dusty,
No.
but Piper's successful.
Highly.
Sergeant Slaughter was big,
Yes.
was never Ric Flair.
No.
Guys, there's levels to this. You can't play hot potato with the world title. I hate to say it, Jesse. New Japan did that for a little bit.
Well, I'm about to say,
Wasn't great.
before COVID and during COVID, yeah, it hasn't been good.
I hate to say it. It should have been either King Switch
yeah.
or Ibushi. Should have been the only only two guys that period.
they got a little. They've had some issues
But
in that picture.
Leroy, you watched Vern Gagne, obviously.
Yeah.
Vern was never Flair.
No.
Flair eventually surpassed Vern.
Correct.
Oh, yes.
Greg Gagne will never be Flair. Steamboat was never Flair, although they had great matches.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the wrestling business. Less than 1% becomes world champion. There's levels of success.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. There's been a lot of successful NXT call-ups, but the problem is that they can't just be world champion in a year.
I mean, listen.
You can't do that.
Baron Corbin is one of a success story. He really is.
Oh, incredibly.
Molded to the WWE style, has taken off with it, has had his issues, which is why he's not a world champion.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he's a success story.
He's a long-running guy.
Finn
He keeps
Balor-
getting to-
Finn Balor is one
Injuries.
of the biggest success stories. It was just injuries.
Yeah.
And Vince got scared, so he just kind of mostly kept him in the.
Asuka, no way you can't tell me she ain't been
That's
great.
a success story.
Yeah.
The woman is a quadruple crown winner. She's basically won every championship for women in WWE.
Four horsewomen, and even though she was in their shadow, call me crazy, I think one of the top 5 most successful NXT call-ups, and I'm serious.
And my future wife. So
No. Hold on. I was not my statement. Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss is a really successful call up.
But everyone's
yeah.
like, because she's not facing Charlotte
It
all
was
the time.
funny is like she actually ended up outshining the 4 women for a minute.
For a minute.
Oh, yeah.
When she was on SmackDown and she was at the peak of the
Yeah.
goddess, there was no hotter woman in wrestling.
No.
She was white hot at that
Yeah.
point. And by the way, she made you hate her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That cute little face.
Bailey, tremendous success.
Yes.
I said the 4 horsewomen. Summer Rae, I think, was a success for a
She
while.
was a semi-success
but
story.
again,
But she was also limited, so there was only so much she was going to do.
But can I also point out, first of all, one of the biggest outliers in the history of this business, not just for the in-ring work we talked about earlier, and Leroy can attest to this as well. Leroy, how many guys can have a career like Shawn Michaels? Where you're relevant not for 5 years, not for 10 years. You're relevant for 25 years in this business.
There's only
0.001%.
But that's my point.
But there's only 2 other people I can put up there.
Hulk Hogan.
No,
No?
I'm not putting Hogan. No,
Okay. Oh, I'm glad you didn't put Hogan in, but
no. Flair and Undertaker.
Yeah.
Besides
But
Shawn
here's
Michaels.
the deal. Here's the deal.
That's
Leroy just said it himself. He only picked 3 guys. Folks, I hate to say it. He just had a biography. It was bad. WWE should rethink the award. but Warrior had a 7-year run. That was it.
Yeah.
7 years. Folks.
It was a blink.
Yeah, but here's the deal. It's a blink in terms of time, but it's still one of the biggest, brightest lights that ever happened in the business. We're not going to sit here and deny that.
True.
His crazy Republican ranting that he did afterwards, we're not going to talk about it. We're going to talk about Ultimate Warrior, the
Yes,
wrestler. But
yes.
guys, and the guys being the rest of the world,
Yeah.
if an NXT call-up comes up and has a nice 3-year stretch and then is just in catering, you had a 3-year stretch. This business is 0.0001%, 20-year runs,
Yeah.
and the rest of it is a bunch of people that got sprinkled in.
Yeah.
You can, first of all, you can't look. First of all, we can't all be the Rock and Roll Express. We can't all be that.
No.
Wrestling into their damn 60s,
Yeah.
and they still have great matches.
Yes.
We can't be the Midnight Express, which for a good 20-year run was one of the best tag teams ever.
Yeah.
We can't be the Steiner brothers who had a great 10-year run.
Yeah.
The Steiners and Harlem Heat, someday we're going to have to make that debate on this show.
Absolutely.
Who was the tag team of the 90s? Because it's between those two. End
really
of conversation.
is. Yeah, it
but
really
it's
is.
just, guys, this business is a... First of all, Jesse, let's go to football for a second.
All right.
You're a Jets fan.
Unfortunately.
You guys have drafted a lot of one-year wonders. You have.
Unfortunately.
But here's the deal. Who's a Jet for 5 years? It's some undrafted dude you picked up, but he somehow finds a way to stay more consistent than the first-round guy.
That's true.
You've had how many? You guys haven't been able to find a running back since Curtis Martin.
Oh, no. No.
You haven't been able to find a good running back.
Not close.
but it's just in any sports.
Yeah.
You can have a hot 1-year run, but for some strange reason, y'all accept that football players can have a good rookie year and then never be seen again. But you can't accept the fact that a wrestler comes up, is on the main roster, has a consistent TV for 3 years, and then he's nowhere to be found because it was done. It was over with. You moved on.
Yeah.
You want to know why Shawn Michaels wrestled 25 years? Because everybody watched his damn ass. He
Yeah.
sold tickets.
Yeah.
You want to know why the Midnight Express worked every territory for 20 years? Because the Midnight Express made people pissed off.
Absolutely.
You watched Ric Flair all those years because Ric Flair made you watch from the Carolinas to the NWA to the AW. You watch Jerry the King Lawler, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
The most decorated man in the history of the business.
Yeah.
Because he's one of the greatest.
Yes.
Folks, I've only named about 6 to 7 people or 6 to 7 tag teams that you still remember from 20, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
The
And the one that's
Ascension was
still
never
wrestling.
going to be that
I
level.
want to say one is still wrestling.
They're
The Rock and Roll Express, yes.
64 and 62 respectively.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but it's just, guys, Nick Aldis is never going to be up in the great echelon of NWA World Champions. He's a great modern-day NWA World Champion, but
he is.
but his travel schedule doesn't match what Flair did. It doesn't match what Dusty was doing.
No.
It doesn't match what they were doing in those days.
That to me is a little half and half on the sense that NWA also isn't as well known as it was
Agreed.
back then too.
But
Yeah,
my-
it
but Je-
has really
but Jesse,
deteriorated.
that's
It's
my-
over time,
deteriorated
But-
quite
but-
a bit.
Unfortunately.
But Jesse, that's my point.
Yeah.
Things deteriorate in this business. They can have a resurgence,
True.
but that doesn't mean they're going to be as big as they once was.
True.
We talked about it, and sadly, I'm going to go back to it. We talked about the Grizzly Smith situation. It's a prime example of, folks, Bill Watts made television, and he made the Oklahoma area.
Yes, he did.
He didn't go to Baton Rouge. Nope. He didn't go to Louisiana's.
Nope.
He didn't make it to the Carolinas.
Nope.
Jim Herd had a family of wrestlers. They were running 6 shows a night, and sometimes you had to drive 2 hours to make 2 shows.
Yeah.
But it's just, folks, you're sitting here calling them failures. I'm sitting here calling them short-term successes because that's what this business is built on.
Yeah,
The Undertaker's a cornerstone holding up all those people because he was great.
Yeah.
Hogan's not Hogan himself, but Hogan's legacy's holding that up.
The character itself
Mick
is
Foley's an outlier. Mick Foley just reinvented himself 9 times and we didn't care.
But like I said, he's
and three
probably
different. Well, that helped when he had 3 different
Nick
characters.
Gage.
he's also the greatest character
Yes,
wrestler.
ladies and gentlemen,
of all
Yeah,
ladies and
which
gentlemen,
one?
as much as we kind of love our niche deathmatch world, no one's gonna remember Nick Gage in the way that Shawn Michaels was.
Not unless you're a hardcore fan of wrestling.
And by the way, him and Matt Cardona, this is the most I've cared about Matt Cardona.
I
in
know.
years.
Matt's doing his best work right now. But once again,
Why you want to get back in the wrestling business with Nick Gage, I'll never know. But all
But
right.
to me, he's
Well, yeah.
But sometimes not having success. So as we talk about NXT failure, not having success in WWE isn't the end all be all anymore. Like nowadays,
Deonna
it's okay.
Purrazzo.
Like
We
it's
talked
okay.
about her earlier.
Deonna Purrazzo, we talked about earlier.
Eric Young found more success.
I mean, I guess we could bring up Miro since technically he's a TNT
Yeah.
champion.
W. Morsley.
But yeah, who used to be Big Cass,
Yep.
a lot of success.
But you look at it too, and you look at
But before them, I don't mean to interrupt you. Kurt Angle had one of the best ever runs outside of WWE.
Yeah.
Like
one of their biggest successes that came back was Drew.
yeah.
Drew was good, but whatever happened,
Okay.
he left. He came back.
Okay, I'm gonna be serious.
It's a
I'm gonna be
It
serious.
happens.
By the way, and had one of the best 9-year runs on the Indies I've ever seen.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
By
he
the way,
did.
I'm gonna say it because I think it's meant to be said.
Okay.
One of my top ever NXT call-ups, and I'm serious.
Mm-hmm.
Laugh all you want, but on consistency, on still getting paid, surviving injuries, and being a guy who's constantly on television. Forget where you are on the card, you're on the card.
Also, Seth Rollins is probably the biggest success story from NXT.
But
Yes,
honestly,
yes.
right up there with him, is anyone going to look at me and say Cesaro has been a failure?
No, Cesaro is
my God.
not a failure.
Injuries have held him back from the big runs,
Yes.
but he's not a failure.
No.
The guy's won every belt you can think of but the world title.
Yeah.
He's been on TV consistently. Even when they were down on him, he was at the top of when the tag team division on Raw
Yep.
was fantastic.
Yep.
Folks, he's not a failure.
No.
Roman Reigns is different, not because of his family, because whether we want to admit it or not, forget the family first. Let's take the Inoue family and the Fatu family out. If Roman Reigns, as is still Roman Reigns, but we remove the Inoue family and the Fatu legacy, and he just still gives us the same stuff, that's a top guy.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't count to me because to be fair, NXT
You have to remove Soma.
One, he didn't have a long run in NXT. And then
But he
two,
still went through the system, is what I'm saying.
He went through the system, but like the smartest thing they ever did with him was they put him with two guys like John, and Seth or Tyler, together.
Colby. We could say Colby.
What's a
Tyler
terrible name
Black.
for a child, man? You know what? You're a good man
Colby
and a great
Lopez
father.
is Seth's real name.
Yeah.
I have two DVDs.
I know.
As him with Tyler Black. Thank you, Mr. Corbin.
Yes. But it's just this idea that it's always because of creative. No, it's because the fans just don't get behind it. Back to the story that I told you guys about, McConaughey getting into to John Cena's prototype. If there were 100,000, McConaughey's, the prototype would have made WWE television.
John Cena is one of the biggest success stories ever. They were going to cut him.
Yeah.
And then he came up with the rap gimmick because he was rapping on the bus.
And then he did
and Stephanie was like, do that on television.
And then he did a dare from his brother to do the 50 Cent in the club thing with his hand.
Yeah.
But it's just we all act like Triple H promised you NXT is going because no, this is a serious thing. We all act like Triple H promised the next era of Shawn Michaels, plural. He promised you the next batch of WWE stars. Jesse's one of the only people that has said it. He's said it on the show numerous times. You actually watch the Attitude Era, the full shows from front to back. They're really not that great.
They're not that good.
The main event was awesome.
Like there was usually like two, if you're lucky, 3 great running storylines, and then the rest of the show was crap.
We all sit here and act like we all sit here and act like 2 Live Crew was this amazing gimmick. It was shit at the time.
Yes.
But it was entertaining.
That's why I watched
Exactly,
WCW
man.
back then and WWE.
It's just, folks,
It's
again, this business is not built on the backs of...
Also, the reason they actually, if it wasn't for Vince Russo that WCW should have won, was because they actually did, from 97 to 99, they actually had a better 2-hour show every Monday, really.
Oh, yeah. 80,
Yeah.
Dusty and those guys did a great job.
83 straight weeks.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Dusty's
but anyway,
awesome.
guys, whether we want to believe it or not, this business is not built, and I'm serious, and they'll tell you this, it's not built on the backs of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. It's not. They got theirs, and they left.
Well,
whether they were forced out or not, they got theirs.
What Stone Cold and The Rock did, though, was elevate it to a whole new level.
But Jesse, this is arguing Moneyball. There's another callback. Moneyball works in the regular season, don't work in the postseason. Because in the postseason, when everything gets tighter, when everything gets more clenched, it's about stars.
Matters, yeah.
It's about stars.
Heart and skill. And
at the end of the day, folks, here's the part of Moneyball that they didn't explain because it's Minnesota. We never get our due. Who beat Moneyball?
The Twins.
The Minnesota Twins. Why? They were doing Moneyball, but they got young talent who were sprinkled in with a bunch of wily, cheap veterans who didn't have anywhere else to go, that were able to bunt, steal bases, and do the things that the A's were not. And they won because they did the little things right, because you found cheap. Here's the deal. You can do Moneyball in any sport, but here's the deal.
To be honest, in football, it does a better job because of the cap situation.
But here's the deal. Moneyball only became a story because of how low that payroll was. For $40 million, you built a playoff roster.
A damn near championship caliber team if they wouldn't have ran into the Twins, who they had lost to the previous year as well.
But that's my point.
And that's when they had stars.
Right, but that's my point is that...
What year was that go? What year was
Moneyball was 2000.
2001.
No, what year Twins were
2000, 2001.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was the year when we had...
Actually, it might have been 2002.
Somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
Well, I think about great Twins team. I think.
Well, that's when we had a young
91.
Johan Santana, but we had a nice sprinkling of good pitchers in there.
Yeah.
We had, Koski.
Yeah, Johan was an ace, bro.
We had Koski. We had Punto. We had Morneau was coming up. Maurer was coming up.
Yeah.
But my point is this. This business is built on the idea that a bunch of guys are Here's the deal. Everyone's like, "Oh, you watch the first round. Woohoo." I watch rounds 2 through 7 of the NFL draft because that's where you build a roster.
Yeah.
Half the league is undrafted. And that's the biggest roster in sports.
Yeah.
53 guys.
53.
That half the league of 32 teams with 53 guys is undrafted.
Yeah.
Because the first round's for the fans. You get to enjoy it.
Well, the first round is you want to get your stars, your hopeful Hall of Famers.
Your hopeful will start. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The reason why it has its own night is because that's for the fans.
Yeah.
They get to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever. Then they
Yeah.
turn it off, and then the second and seventh rounds, you build your roster.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you want to call them failures. The 7 years that Aleister Black had kept a lot of TV time up.
Yeah.
It kept a lot of people interested.
Yeah.
Whether he got over or not is irrelevant because he got on TV, he tried, and that 7 years, folks, it might actually be more impactful on the actual health of the business than the 7 years of Warrior. I'm serious.
True.
Oh yeah.
Warrior will always be over. There's no doubt because remember, even during it was either the A&E documentary or the Dark Side of the Ring. The only good things that were said were old podcasters who grew up loving the Warrior.
Yeah.
But are not willing to sit there and talk about the crap that the Warrior was.
Yeah.
Because they never saw it backstage.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is that Warrior opened the door, and Hogan said it in the original Barrier, or the Life and Death of the Ultimate Warrior, I think it was.
Yeah.
Hogan said it. He opened the door for the short-term 6-year guy. Because okay, I just want to point something out. I hate to say it, Nia Jax is an NXT success.
Yeah.
Because she's been on that roster for a long goddamn time.
I think it'll be 6
She has
years soon. Something like that.
Six years on the main roster, constant TV. Y'all, like,
constantly in the women's
context
championship.
matters. NXT system works.
Well, some will say, though, it helps to be The Rock's cousin in that case, though.
Well, but here's the
Yeah.
deal.
And to be fair, it does help to
I'm
be
not
The
saying
Rock's
it doesn't
cousin.
help, but here's the deal. They're keeping her also because she adds a very large size to the division.
True.
So that's helping her too. But my point is this, Jesse. NXT works. The system works.
Yeah.
People just have to put each person into context. Adam Cole,
Baby.
really,
Babe. Oh.
really Leroy,
You
you missed
missed
your
it.
cue.
Where's my
missed it.
kids?
Forget them, you missed the cue.
I was looking some up.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. Multitask, you man. Anyway. The UE
Yeah.
are outliers.
Yeah.
You know who's actually the true breed of NXT? Everrise.
Yeah.
They found a way to make themselves relevant. Cameron Grimes is another example.
Yeah.
That's what NXT was supposed to produce, was the people. Go ahead.
Well, she had. Are you talking about Nia?
Yeah.
About her success?
Yeah.
2 years NXT. She's been on the main roster since 2016. That's 5 years.
Yeah, so 5 years.
7 years in
So
WWE.
7 years total, yeah.
7 years
Folks,
total. And,
Folks,
yeah.
the system works. You just don't think it works because they're not the top of the card. That is reserved for only about a half dozen people.
Yeah.
Bobby was always going to be a top guy. Drew was always meant to be a top guy because if we knew Drew McIntyre was going to look like this back when he was that, we never would have let him go.
Vince handpicked him himself.
Yes.
So whenever he came back when he was ready, he was going to be a top
Folks,
guy.
Yeah.
people might look more at our AEW thing, but this is us going back to those early days in the show when we had real discussions.
Yeah.
This is back when you first came on the show. We just randomly picked something out of the air and we decided to discuss it. The system of NXT, in my opinion, after how many years has it officially been NXT instead of
NXT?
instead of
2012, I think.
Was that the official marking of NXT?
Was
that the game show? Or was that
I think the game show was 2009.
Okay.
Which was horrible.
Okay. Yeah.
Triple H is like, let me take that. I think I can do something with that.
So
because Vince was going to get rid of it.
From the moment the Performance Center was erected, from the moment that NXT became what it is, from the moment that FCW, that model was gone, or we'll even count FCW, folks, I think the system is 100% successful when you look at the context of the wrestling business. Anybody can have a good one-year run. AJ Styles is an outlier because he had a one-year run that's probably the greatest rookie year in WWE ever. But AJ
he basically came into it already kind of a made man, a legend.
But you also have to remember, AJ got not the bosses, he got the boss behind him.
Yeah.
AJ Styles walked in the door and said, "What do you need me to do?" Yeah. And he just did it better than everyone else. Yeah. But here's the deal. AJ, forget the size, forget the pitbull mentality, forget the struggle. He was born to be a legend. He's the phenomenal one for a reason.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Kevin Steens of the world, there's more Kevin Steens than there are AJ Styles. Nothing against Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is the type of guy that keeps the business up but doesn't necessarily get the main event. AJ Styles is the main event.
I will say this about Kevin, though.
Yeah.
He is a guy that did carry Raw for a short time.
Oh, 100%.
Now, he wasn't always in the main event, and I know CM Punk took that personally.
Yeah.
But Kevin understood, like, I still am the damn main event,
But what I'm saying is that even Kevin Owens can be an outlier, but there's more Kevin Owens than there are AJ Styles.
I would say there's more Sami Zayns than there are.
Sami Zayn's in my
I'll say more Sami Zayns than
All right,
Kevin
NXT 2010 to 2012 with their original format. The way they were doing.
Okay, it was the game show.
And
so then 2012 was when they erected the brand.
Okay.
2012 to present is the revised format of which they have today.
Fair.
So it's going on for
a decade now. Close to.
So here's
almost a decade. Next year it'll be 10 years.
Well, no, it's actually over a decade because Jason and I were at their 10th birthday show where they sang "Happy Birthday" to Paul.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because 2010 is when it has been 2010. They've been going.
Yeah.
So that's where they say.
I'm shocked they still like to count the damn game show because it was so bad.
But my point is this:
original release was February 23rd, 2010.
Think about
and that's about when Jason and I were down in the cities.
Right,
and that's what they say: original to present. So
Daniel Bryan, Justin
Michael
Gabriel,
Tarver.
He was just ahead of his time, unfortunately for him.
Yeah.
Jeez. And the only problem with Ryback is he doesn't know how to shut the hell up.
Yeah.
Well, this is how many they've been on networks. They've been on.
Yeah.
In NXT,
Sci-Fi,
Moon2, WWE.com, Hulu, the network, and the USA Network.
Yep.
That's everything they've been on.
So okay, Jesse. Based on real life context of NXT, what's the grade that you give the system? Because I think it's an A+ because again,
I agree.
Because again, AEW promised me a bunch of things, I didn't get it. Triple H promised me the next WWE superstars. WWE superstars range from Cesaro down to Everrise.
Yeah.
It also ranges from Stone Cold down to Doink.
Yeah.
Those are all WWE superstars.
Oh god, that's funny.
So Jesse, legit question. What's your letter grade?
Stuff. That's not a fucking shock anymore.
What's your letter grade for basically now over 10 years?
So I'm going to differ from you two because I've also been watching it since 2014.
You were consistent, yeah.
Probably a B+, and here's why.
But it's still a passing grade.
Which is a high enough passing grade. That's still like a 3-point whatever grade average. A B+ because I actually think it's 85% successful, which is still high.
Yeah.
But to me there has been enough failure
to bring it down from an A.
And here's what I mean by failure.
Yeah.
So to me there is a failure because the biggest failure is clearly the disconnect between what Triple H builds.
Yes.
And how it's used once they move up.
Agreed.
If they move up.
Agreed.
I know Brian and those guys from Pro Wrestling Observer did a special call. They called it the NXT Prison.
Yeah.
But I just think it's people understanding like right now, unless you go to SmackDown, you really don't want to go to the main roster.
Yeah. Although I do think Although I do think the day that Finn gets to Raw, if he goes there, he immediately makes it better because, again, Finn's just going to be the prince. He's just going to be
I'm
the
about to
prince
say
on
I'll
Raw.
probably be back in the main event picture.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think Vince will have more
And
faith
Karrion
this time.
Kross even recently
Car-
talked about moving up.
Karrion's going to the main roster.
Yeah. But by the way, before you continue your soliloquy here, to bring up what our boy Machine Gun said about everyone being grateful, we just talked about how some people have been able to have great financial, beds by just a couple of years in WWE.
Listen, Maria and
Mike Bennett,
who's doing a lot better as they've gone back to Ring of Honor.
And by the way, Mike Bennett's issue was personal demons.
Yes. And by the way, to give Bennett credit, he admitted listen, man, the company actually had my back as I went through rehab.
Oh yeah.
Like they're like, we're not going to let you go. We're going to make sure you get money.
But he still wasn't Shawn Michaels. I mean,
well, no.
Yeah.
But like I said,
that's obvious.
I believe B+ because, listen, man, I don't know how you dropped the ball on Samoa Joe.
Injuries.
Well, the injuries happen, but still, that guy should have been the one dude who could continuously face Brock Lesnar, and you made it work because it was already working.
Yeah.
I don't know how Bray continues to rebuild himself only for you to kill the Lord.
Right now, I actually want to be very clear. I am not putting WrestleMania on anyone because here's why. The reports have come out afterwards that right now Bray's struggling, so maybe things got changed because Bray needed time off because I don't think Bray is over Brody Lee's passing. You don't work with someone like that for that long and not have a connection.
Well, that was his friend.
Well, no, but Jesse, that's my point. I'm not as angry now that the context is who knows what he went into WrestleMania feeling like. Maybe he was thinking, I wish Brody was here. But maybe he was thinking, I wish Brody Lee Jr.
Now,
there's so many layers to it.
Here's the problem. Understanding that between him and Randy, they both actually wanted to take time off. Because Randy wanted to actually go home, be with his family for a couple months, take some time off.
Yeah.
Because Randy, to be fair, has been working his ass off since the beginning of the pandemic as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And by the way, for AEW wrestlers, there's a reason JR feels that way. Why don't you go talk to the man who has 40-plus years of business knowledge and ask him, hey, how can I change your opinion on me?
He's been an announcer. He's been a booker. He's been an in-ring talent.
More than anything,
he's been an office guy.
He was
done everything.
He was one of the highest talent recruiters of all time. His track record as a talent recruiter alone, not only for WWE/WWF but New Japan, is sensationally good.
Oh
yeah.
Really.
So, but I was saying, I think where I drop it and call it a failure, especially when it comes to Bray, is this is probably the most creative mind you've had since Mick Foley.
That's fair.
Now, once again, Bray's a better wrestler to me than Mick Foley ever was.
Oh yeah.
And has gotten himself in a better shape.
Well, but Mick Foley was a great worker as Cactus.
Well, yeah.
But by the time we got to know Mick and believed in Mick, he was done as a great in-ring worker.
Yeah.
But he got the psychology.
Yeah.
But
so we have Bray, who, like I said, even guys who don't understand the Fiend have said, like, Bray is probably one of the best creative minds for wrestlers that you'll ever meet.
Yeah. But the thing is that not to say everything that you just said isn't valid. You still gave it a B+. You still gave it an 85% success
I gave
rate.
it an 85% because overall, I mean, but even with Bray's he's now a 2-time champion.
Yes.
He's held both versions of the titles.
Yes.
Finn Balor,
doesn't
hurt,
what Triple H said from the beginning, when you put it in real context, make more sense? He never said, I'm going to give you me versus Shawn every night.
No. And the closest
he never said that.
And the closest talent to Shawn Michaels, and the two closest talents to Shawn Michaels, one AEW just botched, and the other apparently is just like, screw it, I'll just stay in NXT, and that's Adam Cole.
Baby.
And
why
so,
do I have to save your ass?
But
when we talk about in your house, I'm gonna have my kids say it a couple times. It's funny.
But otherwise,
they're good at it.
I think they've done a great. Seriously, think about it.
Okay, I'm thinking about it.
Miro.
Yeah.
Look where he is now.
Yeah, but guess what? He's actually a success of the system. He's just a failure to himself.
But what I'm saying is,
there you go.
But what I'm saying is, this is a guy they built.
Yeah,
they built. He can't go to any other company, because the problem is they understood that he was a beast in the ring. Yes, they've done the different things like separating him from his wife. That's the only issue.
Yeah.
They should have never done that. Lana's the much better talker.
Yes.
Like sometimes, and I think this is where WWE on the main roster has lost their way some. Sometimes, and Paul understands this, sometimes a guy just needs, or a gal just needs a manager.
Yeah.
Because the one thing they're missing is someone to talk for them. And that's okay. And then some of the wrestlers that they have wrestle that aren't very good,
Does
but are
anybody
great talkers, should just be
Does
managers.
anybody realize if he didn't get into a spat with Mark Henry, if he didn't screw up backstage, Leo Rush could have made $1 million as one of the best modern day managers, because everything about him screamed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great manager.
Like I said, what cost him, and like I said, I think the shoulder injury is worse than what it is.
Yeah.
Which is why he's going to finish his New Japan run, and
Yeah.
then I actually do think he's going to call it a career.
Yeah.
He's actually got another kid on the way. This will be number 3.
So anyway, Leroy, I've got A+ because I got what Paul delivered. Jesse, 85%, B+, still very passing. What's your letter grade to the NXT system?
I give it an A.
Okay.
I do enjoy it. It is bringing people up. They're putting us some damn good content.
Absolutely.
That I should have been watching a lot earlier than I did. I mean, and the characters and different things they have right now.
It was funny because in
I love
2014 when I started watching NXT, I actually really wasn't following Raw and SmackDown that much, but my cousin was such a big NXT fan.
Yeah.
Because I was back then. I became the indie wrestling elitist.
Yeah.
PWG.
Yeah.
MLW. Like I was that
The
guy.
crazy part
New
about
Japan.
the crazy part about it is that in the era that you're talking about, NXT was more over than all of them.
Oh yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the crazy part.
Because they were just to me. I'm like, dude, this is. I'm like, this is what wrestling should be.
They were the hottest thing in wrestling.
As I got older,
Yeah.
I started to realize, you know what though, what NXT does really well though is storytelling, and they still understand that on the main roster, even if the stories
There we
aren't
go.
good.
Yeah. Supposedly,
yeah. Yep. Go ahead.
Joe. There's rumors they're trying to get Joe to come back to NXT.
Here's the thing, and this is the truth. I don't have any sources, but this is the truth. They let him go because of the whole budget cut, situation with all that. But here's the deal, folks. They had him on a 90-day no-compete clause. They've been talking to him that whole 90 days.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get something going.
Yeah.
And he can go back to NXT, and he can confront Cross, or he can confront Cole, and he can do fine down there. But the fact of the matter is that if anybody thinks that Joe's phone wasn't ringing 3 times a day,
Oh yeah, definitely.
you're insane.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if he would come back or not.
Yeah. Also,
You
by
know?
the way, despite the fact I'm still trying to get over the whole clean-shaven thing, I would say Otis has been a success. Tucker, maybe. Look,
Didn't he get released?
Tucker's out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, folks. I think everyone kind of realized that Tucker was the weak link of Heavy Machinery anyway.
But I do enjoy the memes they've been putting out of
Oh, God.
Otis.
Yeah.
Oh my
Clean
God.
shaven Otis is something different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is.
But here's the
It's
deal.
gonna take
But
a
here's
while
the
to
deal.
get used
Him and
to.
Chad, they've been very good together.
Otis actually finally is starting to work as a heel.
Yes.
Because,
Yeah.
see, the problem was we knew him as, ooh, yeah, and all
Yeah.
that. But now that he's taking a serious tone, and
By the way,
he cuts promos quietly.
by the way, as I pointed this out to Allison, have you noticed this past week on SmackDown, the A show,
the real A show.
we got Chad Gable versus Montez Ford.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the small, athletic guys of the tag team
Yes.
had a match. Now we're gonna get Otis versus
Angelo.
your boy.
Yeah.
Angelo Dawkins. So we're gonna have the singles matches. Then we're gonna have the payoff match, probably at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, you mean booking it in the correct direction?
There you go.
Holy crap, it works.
SmackDown is so good.
Before we get to tonight's pay-per-view, which I'm looking forward to,
we got a couple things to go through.
a couple things to go. 2 things. Number 1, who is the real king of SmackDown? Who wins the 5th and final rubber match for the crown? God, let it be Shinsuke.
This is the only Raw thing on SmackDown I can't stand.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So,
I love it.
well, because here's the thing. Shinsuke has been great in this. Baron is doing his job. He's very good at his job.
Is it Boogs?
I love Boogs.
Okay.
I love.
But
Boogs.
it's so one of the biggest issues with Raw is you'll see the same fucking matches. This is my first F-bomb today outside of it's the second because Kenny gets me riled up.
I'll say this though. You do occasionally need a storyline that just keeps going.
But the problem is they've had this match now, as you just said, 5 times.
Hold on. Pause though.
That's crazy.
Unlike the Bucks,
The only time this was done really
hold on, sorry,
the last
sorry,
time recently this was only done really, really well
Yeah.
was before the formation of one of the great tag teams we've had in the last 6 years, and that's the Bar. They
True.
did that really well.
But I just want to point
because they set it up that way.
But I just want to point something out, okay? Okay, but here's the thing. Unlike the Sucks, that's a new thing on here. Officially, that's on this show.
The Young Sucks.
The Young
The
Sucks.
Young Sucks,
Uh,
yeah.
but here's the deal. Unlike the Young Sucks, if you go back and watch the first 4 matches, they are different matches.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But man, it's so raw to me because I'm just like
It holds its place on the card. That's
yes,
all I'll say.
it's
But-
definitely a lower card.
And
feud.
how many?
Can I also point something out?
How many times has Bogues been on?
Bogues has been there since match 3.
Yes.
They
Okay.
had 2 before Bogues.
Okay.
Yeah.
But by the way, can I point something out?
Yeah.
The reason, I think one of the biggest reasons why I love this feud, Pat McAfee's just a goddamn saint. He is making SmackDown so watchable.
So I said live shows.
Another
with him are
reason
gonna be so
SmackDown-
much-
Oh, I love Pat.
Another reason why SmackDown is the A show of American pro wrestling, and the only reason I don't put Impact there quite yet is because of the main event picture.
Right.
Is because they decided to take a chance that I think even Vince was probably like, okay,
Well, Vince wasn't even there the first night,
yeah.
as we learned.
So
Yeah.
and
In
that
all fairness, we haven't talked about this yet. Jimmy Smith, not bad so far.
no,
Better than Adnan Virk.
Well, the
Yes,
guy called
yes.
baseball never really knew about wrestling most of his life.
Allison, I'm pretty sure I said this on the show. Allison made a good point, though. You take a baseball announcer from a slow-moving analytical sport, but then you take a football guy where analytics technically don't mean shit because it's just guys beating the crap out of each other.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, it's also a faster-paced
Yeah.
sport. So you know, I mean, it was a better fit.
Plus, Jimmy has worked a lot of the pre-show, so he knows a lot of their stuff.
Jimmy, in my opinion, and again, I'm not saying Adman wasn't trying, but he was so far behind.
It just didn't work.
Yeah, Jimmy's coming along very well. You can tell he can hold his own. You
yeah.
can tell Corey's not out of breath because he's having to do all of it.
Yeah.
You can tell they're actually a little more comfortable just being their roles,
Yeah.
them being Byron and Corey.
Yeah.
Jimmy can hold his own. Jimmy's come from better stuff. I like Jimmy. It's a better fit. But no, Pat McAfee, I didn't know what was going to happen. But after that first night, I'm just like, why is this working? Why am I okay with
Like
it?
I said, I was so half and half because I'm like, I know Pat's great on the mic. He knows these wrestlers so well. They
Yeah.
love him. But he is here's what I mean when I say he's what's been missing to me as far as announcers in pro wrestling.
Yeah.
The reason why Raw used to be so great back in the day was because the chemistry between JR and the King. Because
Oh,
the
God.
King,
Well, I'm the one that-
the King was just
I'm not trying to
Oh,
steal
yeah.
your thunder, but I believe I was the first one to at least say
Yeah.
that in the sense of look, they both had A was chemistry
Yeah.
and B King was so seamless at jumping from good to bad, bad to good,
Yeah.
and also when you've got McAfee calling Roman Reigns the greatest of all time,
Yeah.
but that was King.
Yeah, but
that was
so
King
basically
when he was the heel announcer.
Pat
yeah.
like sells these wrestlers so well that there's a reason now this shows, when it does increase, I think people are thinking it might hit 2.6 million this week.
I honestly
it's so fun to watch.
Boogs, if you ever wanted to create a moment that may have gotten you kicked off because you would have gone off script,
Yeah.
you should have tried guitaring with Pat, the two of you. Because Pat even said it. Oh, I thought we were going to do a thing. It's like, Boogs, you should have grabbed the camera guy, said, point this over here. The two of you should have just air guitared out
Yeah.
Shinsuke. Oh, my God, you missed your opportunity.
That
couple-
that would I would have lost my shit.
Two more quick things.
Holy crap.
WWE back in the Middle East for reportedly in November.
Toward November,
I don't
did
care.
find that. Yeah.
They're gonna get paid. Get over it. It's the way it goes. By the way, here's the deal. If AEW, and they actually have roots in the Middle East because of the family, if they could do it, they'd be doing it. Don't at me. They'd be doing it. Don't act like Tony Khan's all of a sudden this justice crusader.
I have always hated this deal because here's the thing.
Yeah, but you're still gonna go get paid.
Here's the thing. Like I think I would Daniel Bryan this if I was a wrestler, right? I'd just be like, listen, man, and it's nothing against the people over there.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with that country, that government. None of it.
Government.
None of it.
Nothing wrong with the country. I don't think there's nothing wrong with the country and the people. But the government is
having a deal
not that great.
I mean, I know people are like, "Oh, Vince McMahon is the devil." No. That man. I'm not going to say how I feel he should be, but I don't think American companies should be working with that man. Money
talks, morality
and
walks.
I get the money talks.
Sometimes, most of the time, yes.
But here's what I don't understand.
Yep.
If you can make by the way, it's not hard for them to go make this deal with any other country. Vince could have made. To me, Vince should have made this deal in the UK.
But the difference is that the royal family of this, and I will use the official name, the kingdom.
Yeah.
But the royal family of that kingdom is not wanting to see wrestling. That's the difference. You go with who wants you to get. You go with who's willing to pay you.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I'm living with the deal.
Yep.
The matches that happen there, like I said, it's just a big ass house show that they show on the network.
Yep.
That's
because it
yeah.
doesn't fucking matter.
No,
like,
we have to crown a new greatest Royal Rumble ever champion
because Vacant is the champion.
Yeah,
it has been.
I mean,
Vacant
wins a lot of. Vacant. I don't know why Vacant isn't in the Hall of Fame.
Vacant.
I really hate to say this, and Jesse, I apologize. I love you as a brother, but Vacant's been dominating the Isle of Japan for the last year.
To be fair. Vacant. I mean, the fact that Vacant is so versatile that Vacant has now been able to dominate Japan has been impressive.
Yeah.
And his excursion is legendary.
I mean, listen, he's been in Mexico. He's been in the UK. This Vacant. We don't talk about Vacant enough as the greatest professional wrestler of all time.
He might be the GOAT. All right. Also,
and his sister Vacant is so damn good.
Right?
Oh, okay, God. We can move off of this.
Also, NWA, they have Empower coming soon, all women's pay-per-view. You and I have argued back and forth.
Quickly, I just want to say this about NWA.
Yeah.
I believe in October.
Yeah. The only thing that I hate right now about NWA is that you have to watch it on Fight TV. That's the only thing I hate.
Yeah.
I wish they would have continued their YouTube deal. Yeah. But otherwise than that, Billy Corgan, you fucking genius.
Here's the deal, though. I trust because they're not WWE. I trust this women's division to put on all women's.
Oh God, more. Yes.
Not because again, WWE's got a great women's division, but WWE and again, Jesse and I discussed this. That pay-per-view Evolution was more hurt by the matches they tried to make that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Jesse, you and I have argued about this, even in the lounge.
Yeah.
But I've always said, what I got is what I'm judging.
Yeah.
What I could have got was a whole nother animal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, folks, yes, it's on Fight TV, but please, we are
definitely try to get
please
it.
Please go watch Empower.
It is free the day after, so I believe on Saturdays it becomes free.
But please, NWA, wonderful all women's pay per view. It's a great women's roster. It's going to be an amazing show.
Camille, I'm not sure if we mentioned her before. Congratulations, very deserving NWA Women's Champion. And I know people that
she's the only member in that household currently working.
Well, and it left a lot of questions because people thought, like, wait, does that mean Thunder Rosa's done in AEW? But that was put to bed because she was on Dark.
Yes.
Because apparently they just don't put women on Dynamite. So
they're probably better off on Dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
the all women's pay per view will be phenomenal. Listen, like I said before about the WWE one, it's just they just missed the ball.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that they dropped the ball; it's that somebody passed him the ball and it went out of fucking bounds. But otherwise,
it was a sunshine in the first half. If you remember, the Titans couldn't make the pitch.
Because, like I said,
that's what it was.
The big thing I said, and we'll move off of it, is that like me and you argued about a little bit, and I've chatted with other people about. your first successes sometimes aren't overwhelming. You should have just kept on it. That's all.
I agree.
That's all.
All right, now before we get to tonight's, and I cannot wait for that main event because there's 4 great workers and then there's a really good looking guy in there. I'll let y'all figure that one out. Leroy, this day in wrestling history.
I'm thinking about that hot blonde on the outside.
I mean, she is the star. Anyway.
With those nails.
Just juicy match that we'll be getting in.
Oh,
yes.
my Lord.
So anyway,
All
Leroy,
right.
this day in wrestling.
This
day in wrestling history. What do you got?
All right, we got a few here.
I actually, this is one of those segments where I'm like, we're gonna bring it back once in a while. This has been a fun thing to bring back like 3 weeks in a row. It's been kind of fun.
Yeah. All right, we got some good, our first some kind of sad news with this, but it's history.
It is. It is a wrestling business.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. Dark Side of the Ring could have 84 seasons and still have material.
39 years ago today, we lost our great High Chief Peter Maivia. He died of cancer, and he was just 45 on this day.
That guy, could he sell?
Yeah.
And when I say sell, I mean tickets.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
The great High Chief Peter Maivia, one of the original members of that family. And, by the way, for all those people who are angry about Yokozuna, Marcus, Peter Maivia was the great High Chief, and it's like that. There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. He also was part of a stunt coordinator on a James Bond movie.
He was, yes.
Yeah, some people know that.
Peter Maivia.
Yeah.
Miss you, love you.
Uncredited for that, but he was on there.
Yep.
Okay, then here we go. 28 years ago today, WWE presented King of the Ring from Dayton, Ohio. Pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was actually the 7th King of the Ring tournament, but it was the first pay-per-view tournament done on pay-per-view.
That was 28 years ago?
28 years ago.
28 years ago.
Wow!
Yeah.
Who won King of the Ring 7?
That was 93?
The 7th King?
Well, you said it was the 7th King of the Ring.
It was the 7th. Yeah, this pay-per-view was the 7th King of the Ring done.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get to it.
Yeah.
And it was the first pay-per-view.
28 years. I get why they're not bringing it back as a consistent run thing.
Well, to be fair, WWE it's very rare that they do tournaments very well.
Yeah, but it is also the first new pay-per-view that WWE did since the 1989 Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
All right, here we go.
I forgot that it was the only
one.
It was.
Well,
I'll use it. The quarterfinals of the King Ring.
Yep.
It was Bret Hart defeated Razor Ramon. Mr. Perfect defeated Mr. Hughes. Bam Bam Bigelow defeated Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
What a card.
And then the last one, Tatanka and Lex Luger, they fought to a 50-minute time draw limit, so both women were eliminated.
Yep.
The semifinals, Bret Hart defeated Mr. Perfect.
Yep.
Bam Bam received a bye into the finals because of the Tatanka Lex.
Yep.
And then the final match, the final round, it was Bret Hart defeating Bam Bam to win the King of the Ring.
Bret Hart's AEW documentary, great.
Yeah.
Loved it. Bret has said, look, I am who I am because of everything that I did.
Yeah.
And, it's like, again, I don't think Vince never fell out of love with Bret. Vince was just scared.
I think it was just a falling out, and then after the falling out, Vince and then both men have already said, like, there is just it's very, very hard to, like, it's hard to say you're sorry when you've worked with someone so long and you grew that personal relationship. And I just think to me, as I've always said, it took 15 years too long for them to kind of make up.
And here a very interesting little tidbit.
Yeah.
Along that was the main thing. A little added knowledge into this was
always a good time.
Hogan was on there in that pay-per-view, and right after the pay-per-view, he did a good run with Yokozuna with the title and everything.
Yeah.
But that was the last time he was on TV with WWE.
Yeah.
Because after that moment, probably about a couple months after this, he was gone. And the next time he was on TV, when he was WCW.
Yep.
So a little tidbit to go with that.
Wasn't that after, because he cut that promo in New Japan about how the title meant nothing or something like that?
I don't know if it was that one.
Hogan proved that night he was too good of a seller.
All right.
Of himself. Of
Yeah,
himself.
about himself.
All right.
else?
Then,
What else
this is
you got?
fun.
Okay.
15 years ago today, WWE presented the first episode of the rebooted ECW on Sci-Fi, was down in Savarian Bank Arena in Trenton, New Jersey.
With zombies.
Yes, that was one of the matches in there. But here's the
Should have
fun.
knew that was horse shit as soon as it started.
But here's a little tidbit about it. Opening segment, Rob Van Dam was presented the ECW champion, making him a triple crown for that promotion as he won the tag team and the television title. And also making him the first ECW champion since
The sad part about that.
in
Wait, hold on a
2001.
second. So that was this day, 15
Yes.
years ago.
Yes.
So you're saying that was this day 15 years ago.
Yes.
I'm gonna repeat that one more time. On this day 15 years ago, correct?
Correct.
A day after WWE announces that marijuana is no longer tested on the wellness policy.
Yep.
Boy, RVD could have used that years ago, couldn't he?
RVD could come back now.
But yeah, he was.
By the way, John, welcome on in.
He was the first ECW champion since.
By the way, I
goodness.
love that news. It means that even WWE is getting with the times.
Yeah. Finally.
Because
I mean, I get why they held out.
I think, like I said, I think they could have did it in 2019.
I agree.
And just because they stopped punishing people really badly for it. At that point, I'd be like, just take it out of the damn policy. It doesn't matter. Like, unless they show up to the show high, I don't care.
Well, but that's what Quick Trip does. You and I can smoke as much weed as we want on our off time, but as long as we don't come to work high,
There we go.
yeah.
And
We here at 13 Tires Company Exchange do not smoke that much weed.
Every day.
What else?
smoke
What else
shit.
you got? What else?
well, along with that, he was the last since the promo shut down in 2001. He was also the WWE champion as well, so he became the first man and only to hold 2 world titles at once in the brand extension era.
Yep.
Also on that show, and this is funny because this ties into like August for our show.
If you say the zombie, I'm gonna.
Oh no,
gonna
no,
kick
no,
you
no,
in the
no, no!
teeth.
Something way better than a zombie.
Okay.
On this show, a 19-year-old Barbie Blank made her debut as Kelly Kelly in Kelly's Exposure, and
Folks, our
If you
downloads are gonna get a little less consistent because we're gonna have a lot of shows.
okay, yes, remember August.
We'll get some
5th
fun stuff with you though. We'll get
August
some fun stuff.
15th, Stillwater, Minnesota. She's gonna be there.
She
We
will.
got to go talk to her.
I want to hopefully get
About professional wrestling, people.
and check
God.
out.
The reason why I'd be afraid about anything else, she likes hockey players. And there are 3 people in this world you don't mess with: Marines, retired Marines, and hockey players.
That's true.
I don't
All
play
right.
regular hockey, but I do play tongue hockey. Please continue.
There you go. Also,
Thank God the FCC doesn't know we exist. What else you got?
12 years ago today,
Okay.
unfortunately, Noah founder Mitsuhiro Mishia, sorry if I botched the name, died of heart failure during a match, and he was 46.
Yeah.
That happened 12 years ago today, and they had a
Lovely tribute by Eddie Kingston earlier,
Yeah.
in this
Yep.
past year run.
and there was I think ROH show that happened that same day,
Yep.
and when they started out, they gave a 10-bell salute
Yep.
to him because it happened earlier in the day.
Noah, as much love as it gets, still underrated with what it's been able to do with the
Pro
ability it
wrestling
has.
Noah, I'll just say this.
Yeah.
Listen, if New Japan is the WWE of Japan, which it is, Pro Wrestling Noah is definitely the Impact. And what I mean by that is it's so good, but not enough
Would you
people
call-
over there watch it.
Would you call All Japan MLW?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Pro Wrestling Noah, they actually do a lot more storytelling.
yes.
Those wrestlers are so underrated that New Japan actually doesn't even send them to excursion in Noah anymore.
Yeah.
Because they can just get picked out at that point from the American companies, because then they decide not to re-sign with New Japan or come back to New Japan after their excursion, because usually the excursion allows New Japan to kind of...
When you prove you're the Outlaws to that level, mad respect for Noah.
And if you ever want to watch Noah, go on Twitch, I will send you the link of the guy who watches it live because they allow a couple of guys to actually watch it live.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's fantastic.
People watch. No, it's you'll if you're at work, it's nice to just sit back for an hour and watch. It's really good shit. It really is.
I wish I could.
Love it.
It's really
All right.
good stuff.
So we had a couple birthdays too, also with it.
All right.
It would have been the 70th birthday of the founder of AAA, Antonio Hurtado Peña Harda. It was his birthday today. And also, it's happy, I believe I got it right, 78th birthday of Otto Wanz. Some people don't know who he is. He is from Australia.
Sounds familiar.
He was a creator of Catch Wrestling Association.
Yes.
It was in Europe.
Yes.
And he did have a good run in New Japan for quite a while.
Yep.
And he was in AWA full time, and he beat Nick Bockwinkel once.
Yep.
And he has one thing that is a very short list. He was able to successfully have body slam both Andre the Giant and Yokozuna.
Yep. By the way, natural strength.
And that's a short
They
list.
didn't take steroids back in the day.
Nope.
No.
That guy was naturally that damn strong.
Yes.
Apparently, there's a story that people like in the wrestling business were telling him he should go compete in strongman.
Yeah.
So he once lifted 300 pounders over his head for body slams.
Yep.
And people were like, that's how he got over. Like he had insane strength and speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Otto. Wow, that is not a name I've heard in a long time.
There we go. That's why I saw it. I was like,
that's what
ooh,
this show's for,
I said I
baby.
gotta-
Wow.
We'll find those interesting facts.
I was like, man, wait, that sounds so familiar.
As I said a few times, I got to whip that
and
one
now,
out, you know.
we got to hurry up and close the show, only because we got to go watch it. But Leroy.
Well, you guys got to travel fast. I just got to walk in the other door.
But Leroy, what's happening tonight?
NXT in your house.
I wish Ember Moon was in my house. Continue.
Well, a couple of them in my house would be awesome.
That woman's not only beautiful, but
All
she's
right.
a geek, and I love it.
Well, you know,
She was on Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah.
there we
Season
go.
19.
Yeah.
Got some good matches on tonight. Let's
we do.
start with. Let's see. Ooh. Well, Mercedes Martinez against.
She's going to choke you out for that.
I know. That's why I screwed it up.
Woman's a legend.
And against Xia Li.
Man, this is going to be good.
That is, I think it's that probably.
I
is
don't
gonna be
care
one
what
that's
anyone
gonna start
says.
out.
Screw too much presentation. Xia Li's rebuild has been handled phenomenally.
Phenomenally.
All right.
Love it. Can't
Okay.
wait. I've got Xia, but I've got Boa doing something.
There we go.
Actually, I think Tian's going to get involved in this match.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I think at some point Tian's going to actually get rid of Mercedes, and that's going to be Mercedes' official call-up.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Okay.
no.
All right. All right.
You
Okay.
mean we're gonna get Mercedes Martinez, not Retribution on
Yes.
on Raw?
Yes.
Thank God.
All right.
All right. Now we have the women's championship.
Yep.
Roselle Gonzalez against Ember Moon.
Raquel's going to retain, and it's
Obviously.
the right call.
Yep.
But damn, I would love to see this woman win another championship. Ember Moon, like I told people when I originally was a
She
fan
came
of her.
back
when she
from an Achilles.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know how, but she did.
Oh,
I
good.
just think because I got to see a little bit of her stuff when she was one of the first women that signed to book.